describes acts of extreme violence in graphic detail and may include discussions about demonology and the occult, topics that caused widespread panic during the 1980s. This content may not be suitable for children under the age of 50. Viewer and listener discretion is advised. Welcome to the GROGTALK with your hosts, Dan and James.
All right, we are back yet again. Welcome to GROGTALK. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. We got people making coffee. I'm James.
And I'm Dan.
So Dan, where are we from today, Dan?
Well, apparently we're in the 69th layer of the abyss.
Bill and Ted's Bogus Adventure. That's the only thing I think about. Bill and Ted Go to Hell, 69, dude.
Have you seen the new one?
I have not seen the new one.
It's very good. It's very good. And I had not seen the original, actually. And so I went back and watched the original, and it was very funny. Okay. This show's about first edition AD&D, though. Is that right?
Well, yeah, I think the first one came out in '89, which is at the very end of first edition.
Okay. So it's the '80s. So that's true.
That's right.
That counts. But so we're in now. It's gibbering hollow. It's not gibbering. Like, is it giblets or giblets?
I don't know. Potato.
You think there's choice? I don't know.
It says. Well, we'll put it out there.
Well, I think it's.
Go ahead.
I think it's gibber. Well, it's gibbering mouther, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not gibbering mouther, is it? Now, is it? And it's thaco, not thaco, and it's drow, not dro.
Right.
So
you're making a lot of declarations today already, right off the start.
I just don't care anymore, James. I'm getting sassy. I just don't.
It's like, this is how it's going to be. If you don't like it,
I don't care.
Nah.
Wow, Dan was so rude today. Yeah, he's so rude. Okay, so we're in the Gibbering Hollow. Now, we got to talk about this because the information, the pamphlet we got when we arrived said, welcome.
Right.
It's also known as the Crushing Plane, which right off the bat sounds problematic. This layer spawned an unusually high amount of mains. Right. And this is when I turned to you.
Right. You don't.
And I said, yeah, James, this is great. There's like horses here.
That's right. They're beautiful.
You told me that just to keep me calm.
That's right. Yes. So for those who are playing at home, on page 17 of the Monster Manual, this is what a mains is.
It's not. So it's not. We're in the D section. We're not in the H section.
That's correct. We're in the D section, page 17. Main. It's a sub-demon.
That's something.
And these are basically These are the guys. This is when you die. They go to the 600. You become these things.
Oh wait, these are the lemures of the abyss.
Correct.
Okay, I've learned something. So these creatures were densely packed and occupied every bit of space on the layer's surface in underground tunnels, potentially crushing and suffocating any creature who arrived by means of a portal. So basically, it's like the New York subway.
Yes.
At like 5 o'clock, which you'd be familiar with, being a New York boy. I don't know how often you went into the city, Manhattan.
Well,
you were Brooklyn?
I lived in Queens, and that's very good. Queens. So you have been to the city because for those who live in the city is Manhattan. That's right.
So right, I'm sure there's degrees of snobby, right? If you're from any of the boroughs, then you can be a bit snobby about being from New York
right.
and you go to other places. But then within the city, within New York City itself, there's snobbiness, obviously.
Sure. Yeah.
Even in Manhattan, there's going to be massive levels of snobbiness, right?
Right. It's better to live in a roach-infested studio in Manhattan than a beautiful home in Brooklyn. Is kind of the.
Well, that's what people in Manhattan say.
Right. Exactly.
You probably would. There's some who disagree.
And I say that's why I live in Florida because I got tired of that. So.
You get tired of the snobbiness. So, right, people from Manhattan looking down on you. So, yeah, this is horrible. So, like, wait, we arrived. I don't know. We arrived and just immediately. So it's basically like we arrived via like a portal,
Right.
and we're in like a New York subway.
Correct.
And we're like, really?
Grand Central Station, rush hour, crushed with all the
Mains.
dead mains. That's right. Exactly. That's what it
Are they
said.
attack- What do you think would happen? Do you think they would notice us, or are they just going about their business like they're trying to get home to their families?
Well, I think that's, again, this is conjecture. I think we have a life force, and we would not be, one of these things is not like the other kind of thing. So,
Oh. Well, that could be problematic. Because, the nice thing about New York is, I think a lot of people think, oh, New York people are mean and evil. But I think, what was great about New York is for a lot of people, you go there and just no one pays any attention to you at
right,
all.
exactly.
You're just irrelevant.
Right,
Just walk by you.
right.
Right?
Right.
That could be good. That could be bad. I could be dying.
Right. Well, yeah, that's when it's bad. Yeah.
That's when it's bad. But a lot of the time, it can be quite good.
Yeah, you're an anonymous. And real aside, my brother is a few years older than me. He drove cabs when he was in high school and college, and he would have famous people, Dustin Hoffman and these folks, and they expected not to be mobbed with pictures and stuff because they're just like, yeah, okay, it's Dustin Hoffman, okay, whatever,
Yeah, that's right. They're like, yeah. As a matter of fact, they might be like kind of, yeah. They might even be rude to him. Like,
That's right.
big deal.
Who cares?
So you're Dustin Hoffman.
Right.
Whatever.
Forget about it.
Yeah, did your brother say, please, just for one time, please, Mr. Hoffman, just say, hey, I'm walking here.
I'm walking here. Yeah, I don't know if he did. It's also kind of a generation. I don't know how much of a fan. Not that my brother watched movies, but I don't know if he was, because again, that's still generational. It would be like if my sons met Dustin Hoffman. I'm not sure. I don't know. He played it off as very matter of factual. Whether that was the true case or not, I don't know.
No, I understand that because I remember, years ago, it's like as an older guy's like, no, who was hot? Raquel Welch, and I'm like,
Well, there you go. It was about time. Let's see if you come back. Hold on, you're freezing up
frozen
again.
me. Did I frozen you?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
You're
That was
fine.
totally irrelevant. The gods wanted me to freeze on that one. Okay. So yeah. So this layer had been unclaimed into the primordial Olmec.
Olameg.
Oh,
Olameg. Yeah.
My God! I'm glad you corrected me before we talked to him. Because he just went like, you mispronounced my name. Claiming the layer as his domain. Who the hell does he think? I'm sorry. Who the abyss does he think he is?
Right.
And starting to endlessly devour. Oh, the mains. To satiate his equally endless. Oh, so it's a little bit like, he's like a big. He's like one of those. He's a big. What are those jelly cubes? Sorry, it's very early.
Gelatinous cube.
Thank you. Yes, it's early. So yeah, he's like a big gelatinous cube. Is he doing a service? It's a little bit like.
And what it says is under page 17, which is interesting. Killing them simply dissipates them into stinking clouds of vapor, which reform into mains one day. So I said, oh, that's not too bad.
Wow, so it really is like New York City then.
Right.
So there's it's just like this noxious smell. I mean, how long is it? So he eats them all.
Well, here's the problem. Demon lords and princes sometimes feed upon these creatures, destroying them utterly. And whenever I read that, I felt kind of sad, even though these are evil people. It's just like, you are a very unlucky evil person then.
Yeah, we talked a little bit about, did we talk about hell last time? And
yes, because ghosts were from hell. They were lawful evil.
And that should be your goal. Because do you really, are you playing the long game very well here if you're lawful evil or you're chaotic evil? You understand what's down the road probably. You got to be pretty confident, right? You're not going to you're not going to become Orcus, obviously. There's only one Orcus. So, yeah, what's the thought process? Are you just not caring? Or you not believe it? It's mumbo jumbo. Abyss.
Well, hubris.
I'm an atheist.
I think that's what it is. I think it's hubris. I think it's when you join the whatever corporation, right, and you start in the mail clerk, you think you're going to become the CEO one day, right? A lot of people don't, but some do. Some think, hey, I'm going to. But, if the CEO came down and ate you in the mailroom, that would change your attitude a little bit.
Yeah, I guess, yeah. I'd work faster. Well, yeah. I mean, I guess you gotta get working. Can you become a devil or a demon? Like not a subdemon. I don't mean like these lemures or these mains. Can you become like a big time devil? Like how does that happen? Is that because I'd like to know before I decide to be lawful evil or chaotic evil. I'd like to know, like, was Asmodeus just some dude who was like really evil and like somebody, I don't know who, some deity gave him devil status? What do you think?
My understanding of the cosmology, which has changed every edition, my understanding of the cosmology as it stood in first edition, like they talked about, is that there were, it's kind of like the Titans and the gods, that they were previous creatures, and then the usurpers came and took over.
So is that a yes or no? Can I become a devil?
Yeah,
like,
in theory you could. Well, in theory, yes.
Like a god, could a god, who do you think, now what are these deities could give me devil status? Like I want to be the next, like I want to beat Asmodeus one day.
Right.
I don't mean like go to hell and kill him. I mean, I want to die and I want to rule hell. So if I'm a lawful evil character, and that's my goal, my goal is to one day die, be so awesome on the prime material plane, I go to hell and I rule hell. That's my plan to take over hell and become a devil. You say yes, it's possible. Yep,
I think it's technically possible, and the reason I say that is because I haven't gone through the Monster Manual recently, but there is that career path, right? You're very evil. Mm-hmm. You become a certain. If you go for like short-term happiness, I'll use that term in quotes. You become a specter or white or whatever, and then I think you're kind of done. But if you stay within corporate,
yes, okay,
you can become a type 1 demon, and then you kind of work your way up the ranks.
This would be a good article, don't you think, for flipping and turning, like how to become Asmodeus, something like that, or Asmodeus-like.
Right. Right. So
because you need some guidance, that would be helpful.
Correct. Yeah. Okay. A tell-all, a guidebook to going up there. Exactly.
Maybe like a career fair.
That's right. So, in fact, I'm sure if we asked, because Carlos and Vic are on, everyone is on, so it's super great. All our dear friends from the Grog Empire reporting.
Now I'm nervous.
Why are you nervous?
Well, that's a lot.
Carlos and Vic have always been very gracious on, we know nothing. But that's my understanding, is that you could go from 0 to hero. It's this because it's the same ethos in the game. It's, well, why couldn't you be a deity? Well, yeah, you can be a deity. There's immortality. It says it in there. So why? That's just the evil way to go to immortality.
So that makes more sense to me then. I'm really evil, and I feel like evil people are going to have egos. Right. Like you said, hubris. They're gonna they're gonna think I'm gonna do it. So, whereas like the lawful good person's like, yeah, I'm nobody. Right. Well, and that may be the way to do it, because that's a defining trait of people who are lawful good. So the more are you truly that way? That's the whole philosophical thing about altruism. Are you really altruistic, or are you altruistic because that makes you feel better? Those are deep questions. Did you see? And I'll stop digressing. Yeah. By the way, you're the one who wanted to be done at a certain time. Yes. I'm just saying this now for those, if he complains at any time today. You know me well enough now. Now I'm just like, hey, you know me. So that's always my excuse. That's right. You know me, James. So there's this role-playing game this guy's written about halflings in a little community. And your adventures are like finding a big turnip. It's like just the daily. That look you gave, your look changed immediately. I know this is not the game for you. You're the one to knock doors down and kill dragons. I'm like, this game sounds interesting. At the end of the day, you just go and cozy up next to a fire and have a good meal. That's my kind of role playing game. Okay. Well, that's why you should be a halfling. That's why, not a gnome. All right. What else we got going on? Okay. Any announcements here? Well, I'm typing because there's some good. Organized crime. There's some good stuff. Carlos, of course, the immolator from Cleveland, says there's canon for that. So again, we have the encyclopedic knowledge out there if we have questions. What do we have? Well,
We know GROGTALK is announced. GrogCon is delayed till next year, but we can say sometime we're shooting for April. Is that a fair statement?
That is fair. Plus or minus 6 months.
and 2 to 5 years.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Plus or minus. Probably just minus. I don't know how we could advance in time. Yes. That's the margin of error is 6 years.
That's right. So, but if you don't want to wait and you want to play online, DM Brian he played last night. Ed's also running our Grognard's Guild Online. Go out to Meetup or go on our Discord, which you can sign up for that. And I think I saw some new players, so Brian's knocking it out of the park. I think Ed's running as well. I think Josh got busy, but he's run there as well. If you want to run or play, just go out there and let us know. Giveaways, their giveaway. I got to meet Rob to give away the MIDI Groggy, thanks to the Scourge. We're giving away stuff every month. So if you are a patron by the end of the month, September 30th, that's 4 days, 4 days, you'll be eligible to win next month's thing. Swedish Challenge, we are now ranking in Germany and Switzerland. The center of the continent is now listening to this nonsense.
Very nice. I saw recently we were unranked everywhere. Did you see that? It was all just. I'm like, wow.
Well, people need a break from us.
That's true.
Perhaps we broke them with the 1 hour discussing ghosts, I think. Let's see. So, the no iTunes reviews. I'm very excited. We had a look at the first ever flipping and turning. Is it flipping and turning or turning and flipping?
Well, it's flipping and turning. So we usually say on the show, we're turning, we're flipping.
Right.
But Rob, and look, he's our Tim Kask. We've given him, people need to know that we've given him full editorial control, right?
That's right.
We're not behind the scenes pulling the strings at all. And he decided that it sounded better to be flipping and turning. So, of course, people tend to call it F&T. They don't actually do that, but maybe they will. So it is Flipping and Turning magazine, and it looks great. He's done a great job with the layout. The columns are often, the names are often tied to little inside jokes from the show, which obviously makes us feel real good. We really appreciate that.
Yep.
And he's really happy with the content. He's gotten great articles. He's gotten amazing artwork. Our patrons, our supporters have really stepped up and made his job a lot easier, though he, of course, also put in a lot of work, and it looks amazing. And
so what's going to happen? We hope to release it days, not very long. And so the plan is, if you're a patron, you get an early release, because, of course, thank you to our patrons. So you'll get a link. But we've also decided that at some point we will release it to the oi polloi, the general public.
Stupid lawyers. I heard that decision came down from legal.
Yeah, I think that would have been a great grog talk when we talked. Because if they thought the 1 hour about ghosts was long and how magic jar worked, you have not heard when Dan puts on his attorney hat.
And how technical.
And how technical.
Right.
Yeah,
splicing. Right. Parsing words and
case law. Some 18th century copyright origins case. That was wonderful. That was great.
Nothing says fun like parsing a fan content policy from a corporation, right?
Right. Yeah, fan policy and determining what kind of damages the profit, if we put this thing in, what is the exposure of risk versus reward for that? So
Right. So that was a lot of fun.
Yes, we will. We will definitely be releasing to the general public. It's just it's just that, again, we want to thank our patrons, and we're going to release it probably on Discord. And then we're also looking at publishing a small batch of them and either giving them away or giving to folks who contributed. So Rob may be reaching out to Carlos. Rob may be reaching out. Yes, that's right, Carlos. We are looking to do a physical release. We may be reaching out to you guys to talk about publishing options.
And I've made it quite clear that if we do hard copy issue, a couple that we're going to put in a hard copy and send out to people.
Right.
I expect to see those. I would be very disappointed if I did not see those very quickly selling on eBay.
Correct. They have to be limited, and then we want to see them immediately go on eBay.
Yes.
That's right. For
And
ridiculous sums of money.
Yes, and even if you're not going to get it, just put like,
$500.
yeah, at least, exactly.
500 euros.
Right, so we can take a screenshot of that.
Right. First person would be there. So we may put on drive-through. Again, we don't want to, this is, again, thank you to our patrons for doing that. But it's super exciting. And we're also working on some, and Carlos said definitely no problem. Rob can talk to him about publishing. He'd be happy to help with that too. So I know both of them are in the business. So
it seems like a great place for a mini dungeon.
Exactly.
Right.
Oh, you're talking about the mini dungeon, not the magazine.
Well, like Carlos, has his, right? Those little short.
The adventure cards.
Exactly, adventure cards, right? I'm not saying that's what should be in there. I'm just saying that seems like a perfect fit.
Right. Future issues, it would be great. I know we have an adventure, but an adventure card would be perfect for that. So it's going to be quarterly. Very cool. Let's see what else. Blah, 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 blah. So if you have content for next edition, go out to editor@grogcon.com and put it out there. So again, yes, this is more than a podcast. We're branching out. We are doing a bunch of things. And actually, there's going to be some teaser advertising that I haven't even shown Dan.
Wow, really?
Yeah. Should I show it?
Is that my likeness? Did you get my approval?
No, it doesn't. Is it your likeness? Yeah, that's a good question.
And I need to give a teaser too about my next column. Should I give it now?
Yeah.
Okay, so my column, of course, is parenthetical evil.
Right.
About creatures who are neutral paren evil, and the Wolverine is parenthetical evil. Now, what's interesting about this is that I believe I should have checked this before I did it. Don't gnomes use Wolverines in their Wolverine? They use Wolverines. They've tamed Wolverines. I was interested. Why are they taming neutral paren evil creatures? This is a strange collaboration. Though maybe if you're tamed, you're not really collaborating. You're basically enslaved. But that's all. So there it is.
So I need to share this with you because you can't see it this way.
No, so I'm like the only one who's can't. You guys all sit there and laugh, yuck it up, and I can't see it. That's fine.
Here, I'm going to share it with you. There you go. That's going to be one of the advertising that's in there.
Get out. That is so good.
Thank you.
That's so clever. That's awesome. That's really good.
Yeah, so we're going to have to talk about on offline my idea of what we're going to do for 2021.
Yeah, because the ad is cool, but my big question is, what are we advertising?
Well, that's
a separate issue.
Well, that's some of the ads we put in there. It's like some of these things, they never happen, but
that's awesome.
You got to tease them in there.
Like Kelly Villamere.
Right.
He had that adventure coming soon. Whatever it was at Dwarven Mountain or something like that.
Never came out.
It never came.
So at most, we have a teaser. People are like, oh, when is the GROGTALK adventures coming? But I'm putting a marker down because I want to. There's one or two things I want to do. I think we can do it, and I think we have a year to do it. We have actually 15 months. I think we could get something done. So. Wow.
I'm intrigued. Okay.
So there you go. So that's the teaser.
That was very cool. Great work.
Yeah, that came out. Photoshopping was fun, but
did you clear that with legal?
No, of course not. No. Tell me, are you inferring it's from some famous picture? I don't know what you're talking about.
You drew that.
That's right.
So basically, you and Rob, after the last meeting, basically you guys texted each other like within seconds and said, "Yeah, we're not like talking to legal anymore.
Legal sucks."
Yeah, legal sucks. Just don't pass anything through legal anymore. Okay, I got it.
All right. So let me go to random encounter since we're.
Oh, let's do it.
Since we're ready for that at this point.
I hate that stupid. Wait, there's controversy with random encounter.
There's not. Why is there controversy? How can
I don't know. Rob Ritchie. Where is Rob on?
No, I don't think he
He
is.
needs to call in. Okay, he can't do that. Rob Ritchie contacts me and says he's driving around listening to the podcast where the Shadow Mastiff appears for the first time, and he's screaming in his car about how we are misplaying the Shadow Mastiff. And he texts me this, and I say, I'll throw you under the bus, obviously.
Right.
I say, why are you complaining to me as opposed to James? Because I just want to blame it all on you, because you're the one that runs the creatures and you explain everything.
Right.
And he says, I already gave James the business. So apparently he wasn't satisfied just simply complaining to you and giving you the business. He still had anger left in him after I don't know what, if you were just like whatever, and so he didn't feel satisfied.
I don't worry about that. First of all,
problem. He knew I would be upset about it, so he goes to me. You're like whatever, and so he's angry, and he comes to me, and he knows then I'll be. And so now he's got complaints about two things, and I said, "What are you complaining about? Because what could it be?" I was like, "I see you're complaining about the rule on shadows in the shadow rule, right? And the flea rule." Right? And he's like, yes. I'm like, well, we changed the flea rule, which I assume he was upset about us separating the drop and the flea, which we I think correct. We've talked about that.
Right. Well, that's the problem. He's behind. He's even said it.
Well, but we haven't changed the what's he upset about the shadow? And he was supposed to come on, I thought, to set it straight.
You know what? If he's not on, then who cares? But he was upset about the whole dropping, and that was my point from the first time when you're like, oh, he automatically happens. I said I knew that wasn't, but and then later, a later episode, you then parsed it a different way because that's how you roll.
But I think he probably likes the new way. I'm assuming since he.
Well, the way that makes sense is that it's a saving throw, and you don't. It doesn't automatically get panicked because then that's all there would be in the world of Shadow Mastiffs because everyone would flee from them.
Oh no, I agree. Yeah, so it's panic. Right, it's panic and drop together, and
right.
It's
just poorly. It's just poorly written, in my opinion.
It is. So, but do you know what his complaint was about the in the shadows? Oh, I think he said he wanted like a thief role. He wanted like a hide in shadows role, like a thief.
Yeah. You know, maybe this editor job is getting to him. I don't,
Oh, you think so?
Yeah. I think so.
Do you think he's lawful evil?
No, I don't think he's lawful evil. I just think it's getting to him. And
how about neutral, parenthetical evil?
He could be neutral, parenthetical evil. You'd have to write article about our editor.
About our editor?
That's right.
That'll be the next one I'll submit.
All right.
Rob Ritchie.
So so the Shadow Mastiff has somehow yet again survived.
Probably because we're bungling, making him uber powerful. I hate that stupid dog.
Well, I thought with the ghost you'd be able to get rid of it, and No. But go ahead.
I know. I have a request.
Yeah.
I hate that stupid dog so much.
Mm-hmm.
Would you give me first? And I know you're being very hesitant to do this because no one trusts my amazing rolls, but it's because I've got connections up there. I would like Dan Gormansky would like to make a roll for divine intervention. I'd like to pray to Carlos. Help me out here. I assume there's some cat god, Sheba, something like that.
Now he's going to be apoplectic. There is Sheba, but you mean you want a Greyhawk deity?
No, I want to pray to some cat deity to send some cat. We can then do a random roll. We'll have cheetah on there. I assume there's like a billion different cat things, which of course will take an hour to figure out that random chart. But I'd like a chance to bring some sort of cat to take care of this stupid dog.
Okay.
Is that okay? Meaning you acknowledge my request? Because that's ambiguous. Or okay.
You can use the Cat Lord. I think we went over this. The Cat Lord's in Monster. It's in the.
But he would send some. Okay. Can I pray to the Cat Lord? Can I pray to the Cat Lord?
Yes, because if you get under 10. The only thing is that a cat has to attack you as well, so you have to take one of your cats and.
I will hold the cat. Hold the cat while I roll. Huh?
Yeah, you should. I would think that's like your holy symbol.
That's right. That's right. Okay, I'm rolling. This is just for me. Okay.
Yes, this is your own. I mean, this is kind of unprecedented. That the fact you dislike a random monster so much that you're now going to.
Yes, yes.
The Cat Lord is on page 22 of the Monster Manual 2 for those who are playing.
The one where they're not sure if it's a deity. Rumor has it might be. And It's like a dude. It's weird. He's like a dude, right?
Some believe. The old some believe.
Right. Very fiend folio.
Well, it's monster manual too.
I know, but meaning like that some believe, rumor has it. That seems kind of like you see that a lot in the fiend folio. But all right, I'm rolling because look, it doesn't matter if I don't make it, right?
That's right.
And this doesn't mean the cat lord's coming. It just means he may send a cat, right?
True.
Because then I want like a chance of an ordinary cat.
Well, I'm going to say he summons one of his cats. He's got a chart here for summoning.
Perfect. All right, I'm rolling. 46 doesn't happen.
No, you're silent to his.
All right, let's go to normal rolls.
You want to roll against a catfish? Perhaps maybe a giant catfish?
I saw that act. That would have been cool on the table. Yeah. It should have been. I would have done that if I had like a chart with all possible cats. I'd have catfish on there. All right. Now, normal dorso roll.
Can we start? Yeah. Can we?
Yes. A 1. What is that?
That's fiend folio.
All right. Oh, it's because Carlos is on.
Well, it's not. It's the dorso rule.
I know, but Carlos likes the fiend folio.
Well,
I'm still not so sure it's the dorso rule. We need to go back and watch that. That happened at. You know where that happened at?
What happened at when?
The decision of like the Fiend Folio Monster Manual to controversy. We know Carlos pointed it out. Didn't Carlos point that out? And I thought it should be the Lysing role. Because I think Carlos, when he was at GROGTALK, and we were all there together in person in the days pre-corona.
Right. Was there a time like that?
I think there was a time like that. I know it's been a long time. I think he said, look, guys, you're not giving enough love to the Fiend Folio, because the Fiend Folio is basically ignored in the Monster Manual 2 random encounters. And so I don't know. We call it the Dorso rule. I think we may owe a cross apology. But let's roll.
I don't recall. We've called it that way. I mean, there's so many things that are named probably inappropriately. I mean, that's. I guess if you want to go back and watch every episode from when we started Random Encounter to figure it out, I do. It sounds familiar, but I don't know exactly.
Do you remember a convention called GROGTALK?
I've heard that was a time when we were happy.
You know, it's like these shows that are famous, and then if you went back in time, it would be like 15 people at a bar.
Yeah.
That's GROGTALK.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's famous, but like if one day they like talk about it like 50 years from now, it's on some chart, it would have to be like attendees.
It was a magical time, and like, pre-apocalypse. So
Time of innocence.
That's right. We thought, what's the worst that could happen? We were wrong.
It was a time of innocence, except for that one event with Vic near the end, but we won't talk about that. Okay, let's. All right, you need to roll a D10, sir. Right?
D10.
In the Fiend Folio, so it is a D10.
9.
Whoa, this is serious business. We just missed Fairy and Sylvan settings. It is It is tropical and near tropical conditions, uninhabited / wilderness areas. Sir, I need you to roll for the predominant terrain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I need you to roll a D10, please.
Thank you. 3.
We're in the forest in an uninhabited, but boy, it's tropical, so it's kind of hot. So this is Florida again.
Yeah, it's like the Ocala National Forest.
Yes, it is. So you're in the Ocala National Forest. Roll a percentile now, please.
Percentile. Here we go.
Please.
25.
We need something that can beat this stupid dog. What? Oh my gosh, an elephant.
Oh.
What's an elephant doing in the forest? I guess I don't know anything about elephants. I don't know why I would question that. I just assume they're on like a Sahara plain.
I'm just glad it's not something that's super powerful that's going to run away. Right, elephant.
Well, it was almost a loxodont elephant.
Oh, that would have been cool.
Really? Okay, but no, it is elephant.
Elephant. I'm guessing awesome. It's in Monster Manual. I'm
going to stomp you. Oh, this thing's stomping that dog. Oh, he's got to be like 8 hit dice, don't you think? Well, I will ask you. Okay, when you get there,
I'm not going to look.
Yeah, you can get there, just don't look. All right.
What page is it on for those listening?
Elephant is on page 38 of the Monster Manual.
38 of the Monster Manual, okay.
Oh, do you know loxodont elephant is in the Monster Manual? It's an African elephant. We have an Asiatic. Regular elephant is an Asiatic elephant.
Apparently.
Okay.
Okay.
So frequency,
Uncommon.
common.
Wow.
Yeah. I guess you got to be in the, if you're in the right place. So yeah, they're just kind of everywhere. I guess adventurers haven't started killing them for their tusks yet.
Right. Well, they're kind of like they're scared after the herd animal. You shouldn't mess with herd animals. Anything that's out in the wild, you should not mess with unless you're hungry.
Yeah, I agree with that. All right, number appearing.
2 to 24.
That's pretty good. 1 to 20.
Okay.
And AC.
6.
Very good, sir. Very good.
So I'm not looking.
That's correct. No, I know. You're trustworthy. Movement.
I'm going to say 12.
Yes, and this is very good, and that's scary because if you're like a knight, you're gonna be like shedding your armor as you're running, right?
Yeah, you're not gonna outrun an elephant.
That's not good. Yeah, I mean, no one has a movement beyond above 12.
Well, monks do.
Oh, do they really?
Yes, we went over
okay.
that.
So the monk is like wait for me. Yeah. So if the only one who comes back is the monk, you're like, oh, would you guys was an elephant? That's right. So
okay. That is one of their key features because they don't have a lot of hit points and they don't attack well, but they can run.
They run well.
They're fast.
They're ready for the elephant. They're like, what are you guys worried about? It's just a bunch of herd animals.
Exactly.
What are you, a monk? Hit dice.
Well, I was just about to look. 6.
Why didn't you trust me, sir? What did I say?
What'd you say, 10?
Yes, it's 10.
Wow.
That's scary. They have no lair. This stinks. They have no treasure type. Boo.
They have tusks. That should be worth something.
Yeah, where are they going to hide? Well, if they don't have a lair, you have no treasure type unless you have a pocket. Okay, ready for this? Number of attacks.
Well, I sort of peered. It's more. I would have thought 1 attack, but it seems like it's a lot.
It is. 5.
Wow.
5, and every one is at 2 to 12. So this would be fun to read. It's like a whirling dervish. This is going to be fun to read. This is crazy. These are like Oliphants or whatever. What are they? They're like swinging their tusks. And,
exactly.
And so, okay, so no special attacks. Well, other than those 5 attacks.
Right.
Seems special to me, but I know what Gary means. No special defenses. They standard magic resistance, semi-intelligent, neutral alignment. They are large, of course, 9 feet tall. Thank God they don't have psionics. Let me tell you, I don't know why we have African elephants. They're not that much different. Ooh, they have a 15 movement.
They move faster.
Oh yeah, and their damages are 2 to 16.
Yeah.
They're worse. Okay. The elephant is found only in warm climates. They attack by means of a stab with 2 tusks, a grab and squeeze with their trunk, and then 2 tramplings with their front feet. Okay. But you're doing this all okay, I need to keep reading. That's my big mistake. I'm so impatient. One opponent can be subject to no more than 2 of these attacks at the same time, but several opponents can be fought simultaneously. 6 or more man-sized opponents, for example. Ogre-sized opponents will not be affected by trunk attacks. Oh, why? That's because
they can't wrap their trunk
around you. Yep. Okay. So, all right. So, yeah. So that's the good news. It's just 2 upon 1, but upon every. Wow, these guys are scary.
Yeah.
So the good news for the Shadow Mastiff, there's not a lot of good news, but the good news for the Shadow Mastiff is that it is just 2 attacks at a time. How do you figure out which 2 attacks do you think that would be? I guess we'll decide that when we do combat. You'll have to decide that.
Yeah, he's going to fail a save and run away, but that's okay.
He's going to drop his trunk.
It's worth. Go ahead.
Elephants are relatively intelligent. Oh, okay. They're semi, but relatively intelligent, and will not trunk attack creatures which will harm their trunk, i.e. spiky. Oh,
trunk attack. I love that. That's the name of an album. Trunk attack. It
is.
Pseudo Undead, the trunk attack. That's great.
Yeah. So what would be? So they're not going to attack a sea urchin with their trunk. What's spike? Oh, a giant porcupine. So they're not that stupid.
Right.
Okay. Spiky, hot, etc. They fear fire. Okay. An elephant can easily break open a great gate by pushing, unless the gate is spiked to prevent this. Oh, so yeah, obviously, if you can get an elephant friend, he can open doors for you in a dungeon. That's right. You can hire an elephant to open doors. They can be trained
Yeah.
to carry equipment and or men. Okay. Elephant tusks have a value of 100 to 600 gold pieces value each. Boo. Each gold piece of value equals 1/4 pound of weight. If more than one half the possible number is encountered, there will be young animals in the herd from 1 to 4, 20% to 70% mature. If a single animal is encountered, it will be a rogue bull.
That's what this is, because it's one countered, so it's a rogue bull.
Yes. So wait. So should the band be? What was the name of it? What trunk?
Trunk
Smack?
Attack. Trunk Attack.
Should the band be Trunk Attack and the first album be Rogue Bull?
Rogue Bull. Yeah.
Or I don't know. I'm just saying that.
I like it. Trunk
I don't know.
Attack. TA.
This is Rogue Bull, or maybe that's the name of the band member.
I like Rogue Bull. Is what either that's the name of the band. The first one is Trunk Attack.
Okay, Rogue Bull, and then okay, this is Trunk Attack. This is
This is from our new album, Trunk Attack. It's
and then everyone will be like, yeah, and everyone will do like a thing with their, just like their trunk. That'll be our thing. yeah.
Waving their trunks in the air like they don't care.
We'll have a big elephant come out on stage and like wrap around somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. It worked for certain bands, so yeah.
It's strange that we're not really highly ranked on the charts here in the States. Okay. No. So we'll be a rogue bull with no fewer than 6 hit points per die, and I love it. Thank you, Gary. Gary's so good. A very nasty and aggressive temper. Was Jody just laughed? We should have asked her that if she ever just smiled when she wrote these, or was it just she was just like it's a job, it's a job, it's a job, or was she like smiling and pausing and laughing? Because that's funny. Because Gary's basically like Gary. I think Vic might be like an illegitimate child of Gary. Do you think? Because I think Vic's got a little bit of Vic would do things like. Vic likes this stuff.
I think it's a Midwestern DM thing. I think there's a school that you go to and you have to be sadistic. Go ahead.
Because their reputation is usually, in the Midwest, they're so polite. And you think there's like a little streak there.
Right. It's that passive-aggressive thing when they have you control over you in the table, and then that's when they sing it.
This is a rogue. All right. So this elephant just comes charging at you. Basically, Gary is saying if you roll up a random, like now, if you roll up an elephant, this is a rogue bull. He's nasty and angry, and he's coming at you.
Right.
This is awesome. I can't wait to stomp on this.
See, I read ahead, so that's why I was waiting.
There it is. It always seems to be 90% of the time. Do you remember that one time where I think Lane was upset because I had a spider attack?
Yeah.
He's like, look, they're just spiders. And I think it actually says 90% of the time.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Did I say that about the spiders? That's so nice of Gary. Gary reminding us that these are not your normal Earth monsters, animals.
And I'm curious in if this would be written the same in 1970s like it was in 1977. Because basically Gary's promoting poaching with elephant tusks worth 1 to 600.
Well, yes. Well, that's right.
Because I could see just the party just going around slaughtering all the elephants.
Get it out of your system. It was like that article that guy wrote. I don't know if you saw that for the Dragon magazine this month. The pastor, the minister, and he wrote an article. He was a minister. Right. He wrote an article on the chromatic dragons or something like that. And he says, he says he had a group of players that were ministers, and one of the guys played a great assassin. That was great. So get it out of your system.
Well, it's cathartic. That's basically I got you. All right,
it's cathartic, Mom. Are we supposed to read now? Are we required to read Mammoth and Mastodon?
No, we're not required to read. I mean, if you want to, it's your show. It's our show. So if you want to, that's fine.
No, because we didn't get that. Okay, so all right. I'm an elephant.
So now I have to roll. We've decided for the Shadow Mastiff, since we have no idea what a daylight thing is. We're using the shade from Monster Manual 2, what daylight it is. Or is it the shade? Yeah, I think it's the shade. It's got, D. And I'm doing a D8 to figure out what it is.
Rob's getting angry.
Twilight. All right, it's good for, it's not too bad for the Shadow Mastiff.
It's Twilight.
Yeah, it's not shadowy light, unfortunately.
What's the difference between twilight and dusk? Do I have the right? Am I at the right time period?
Sunset. It says twilight occurrences sunset. That's what that is.
What's dusk?
I think
is there a dusk?
that is same thing. That's dusk.
Same thing. Twilight equals dusk, like autumn and fall.
Because then shadowy light is dimly lit room or forest, which is more than that. I think dusk is when the thing falls. When the sun sets, but it's still bright out.
But shadows are lengthening, so that's pretty good. So not bad. It's okay.
It's not horrible. It's not as good as it would have been better. Underground torchlight. That's the normal illumination on the plane of shadow. So okay, well we got it. That's right.
All right.
So you're an elephant. I'm the shadow master. Well, and you have 60 hit points. That's the beauty of this, because you're a rogue bull, angry elephant.
I'm a Oh no, then. Oh yeah, 6 hit. Oh my God, no fewer. No fewer actually, than 60. So I'd roll, but I mean, should we just give it 60? I mean, I'm probably not going to roll higher than 6. I mean, yes, I could roll, but I'm probably not going to get any.
No, are you going to roll 10d6, really?
Here we go, count it, yes. 10. Yeah, 10.
What are you rolling? What is that dice?
Isn't that a die 10?
Yeah, for what, hit points?
Oh God, what am I thinking? Sorry, I'm thinking 10. You got to watch me, man. So I rolled a 10 on my hit dice. Oh my God, it's early. It's not good. It's time for me. I gotta go. Please fire me. I don't belong.
Hold on. I'm gonna mute. So we're.
Can you edit that out later? I rolled in 8.
8.
8.
And then I have to do some kind of video editing to blur that D10. So
give you more work. Yeah, it's a 7, a 1, a 6. Are you keeping this?
You did 7, 1, 6 so far?
7, 1, 6.
Okay, go ahead.
4. 6. 5. 7. 3. 3. 5.
Okay, that's 10. All right, 10, 20, 23, 10, 24. You had 47 by doing it that way.
So I have 60. Okay, let's go.
So it's surprise.
Surprise.
Let's see, does he get anything? No special surprises. But 6 for surprise.
3 for me. Neither party is surprised. So now it's distance, right?
It is distance. So here, I'll roll distance. 40 yards away. I'll assume we're outside in the forests, uninhabited, tropical, whatever you said.
Forest. Yeah, tropical, subtropical.
All right. So, yeah, that's the thing. So this is the battle of who's going to get money. If you kill the elephant, you get tusks. If you defeat the shadow mastiff, you find the whelps and you sell them for 200 to 500 gold pieces. So this is that should be an article about monsters and how much they're worth, not for XP, but for selling. Some kind of.
So we can have PETA.
Monster Mart. Yeah, you don't talk about just how much they're worth.
Right.
I like it. All right, so now it's initiative. What's your action?
What else do you do with an elephant in an adventure? Other than you're going to train it.
Yeah, you train it. You totally train it. And totally attack.
How do you? But you got to What do you say? You got to capture it. You got to subdue it like a dragon. What are the subdual rules? Like a dragon?
Yeah, same thing. We could. I'm currently playing a druid ranger, which has been super fun. So basically, any animal, I keep a charm person or animal.
That's impossible.
Huh?
That's combination's impossible.
Well, it's allowed in the book that shall not be named, which this DM is allowing.
Okay.
I'm leaving the territory.
You are. I'm sorry. Go ahead. So what are you doing as your druid ranger?
So anytime it's a mammal, I do charm mammal and then animal friendship and speak with animals and I groom them. I'm becoming like Dr. Doodle.
Yeah. Okay. So here we go. So we're declaring action.
Correct. He's going to bay. He's going with his go-to thing.
Oh, that's right. You got to bay before I even get there and step on you. It's 40 feet. Yeah, I can't get there. Right, all right.
Well, no, you're going to have to attack. I assume you're going to charge me, right?
Yeah, I'm charged, but I'm 40 feet away. I can't.
So, well, if you win initiative, you'd go first.
Oh, would I? Because that's so I...
Well, it depends. We'll see what the dice is.
Okay, so we're rolling for initiative.
Yeah. I rolled a 4.
I rolled a 5.
Oh, so you got it. I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna let you attack. Go ahead.
Oh, so you think I will get there before I'm like freaked out by your bang?
Correct.
How many hit points do you have?
I don't have a lot, so.
Are you sure about this on the child? How does this work on the charging? So charging.
Well, charging is based on weapon length. So.
Well, when we get there.
Yes, but I'm technically, you could say, I'm casting a spell.
Oh, and so the charge. What's your movement rate when you charge? Is it double?
It's double movement.
So I move at 24. So I move at 24 inches. Oh yeah, so I could easily. So I guess that's how I get there, right? Because usually if it's you got to be within 10 feet, correct?
Right.
To close for melee.
That's right.
But if you charge, so how far away can you be in charge in that round? You can be pretty far away and charge and make it there.
Yes.
In combat.
Yeah, but it's. Yes, you can charge and you can make it there. It's double movement. And I rule it has to be a straight line.
Okay.
Oh,
okay.
That's right. I think David's right. It's only 1.5 times because he's a quadruped.
Really?
I think he's right. I remember seeing that somewhere. I think he's right. I know he's right. But
no, yeah. I mean,
charging is okay. Well, this is what we do.
66.
This is what we do. We divert.
We're flipping. We're no longer turning and flipping. We're flipping and turning.
Yep, 50% for quadrupeds.
Where are you, sir? Are you on page 66 of the DMG?
Oh, and it's actually outside. We've been doing it wrong because we've been outside.
This action brings the charging party into combat on the charge round. But there are a number of considerations when it is taken. Movement rate outdoors. Movement bonus for charging in normal outdoor settings is 33 1/3 of base speed for bipedal. 55. Oh, so it's better to be a quadruped. You're moving faster.
Right. But we've been doing it wrong because we've always been double moving because we just always assume it's indoors. So that's.
Oh, that's right. So outdoors is just going to be 33 1/3. Okay, so melee at the end. Initiative is not checked at the end of the charge movement. The opponent with the longer weapon reach attacks first. Charging creatures gain plus. So I get +2 on my hit if I survive any. Only one charge can be made. Okay, now wait a sec. So, all right. So we've got a bay. Because I want this to be right. I do hate this stupid dog. But I don't want people thinking that you're just being nice to me to get rid of this stupid dog. So you've got we would do a comparison. I would probably attack first because I've got the long trunk, right? If you were doing a paw attack, or whatever, right? But you're not doing that. You're doing a bay. Your mouth. It's your lips. Isn't the weapon speed of sound? Is it sound waves? I mean, aren't sound waves going to reach? I can't believe I'm actually trying to help out this dog.
This is you would do it if you wanted to go there, which it sounds like you want to go there.
Well, I want to do it right. We're trying to teach the kids.
Okay, well, if we're teaching the kids, they shouldn't be watching us. But, okay, they should do whatever we do opposite. If you're going to do it right, then you would have to argue that it's not a weapon, it's a spell. So then it's spell versus charge.
Oh, you're right.
That's what you would do.
I agree with that. So what happens when it's a spell versus charge? There's spell versus charge?
Yes, you have to look.
It's not on charge, right?
You have to go back to spell casting during melee.
What's swords and spells? Where it says movement rate outdoor? CF, TSR's swords and spells. What's TSR's swords and spells?
There's all kinds of crazy products. I don't know.
I don't either.
Just like there's 3 articles in the Dragon we read. I was reading them. I'm like, what is this about? And it's like melee, and I thought it was just combat melee. No, it's the product melee from Steve Jackson Games. So I was really.
Does that parenthetical implicitly incorporate swords and spells into the DMG as part of the DMG?
I don't know. We never had that product. I never saw that product.
What that is.
You have to buy it first. And CF means refer to, right? It doesn't mean you have to.
CF is usually I thought CF is kind of like a bit of a compare. Yeah, it's like I thought it's like. Wait, you're right. CF is like a bit of a comparison. Actually, it's not like a use this. I think it's kind of like compare this.
Right. CF, compare. So we don't have to.
Compare. No, that's the
Because it's in the glossary.
Oh, wow. See, Gary.
Because ignorant people like us, I'm like, well, compare.
Do you really think Gary would probably, that'd be wild if he could think that like 40 years later, we'd be using this glossary to figure out what CF means. Okay.
So yeah, it's an OD&D swords and spells. That's what Carlos says.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. So where's the spell? Spell versus charge. Where is that?
So you have to go to spell casting. Well, it doesn't say. It says spell casting in melee. Hold on. Let's find that now. Page 65. It's the page before.
Okay. See, that wasn't far.
So here's the problem. Spell attacks directed at spellcasters will come on the segment of the round shown on the opponent's or on their own side's initiative die, whichever is applicable. How's that for making perfect sense?
We've been down this road.
Right.
So the spellcast, so let's say you did not win initiative. The attack must come then, not on the opponent. Oh, on the opponent's losing die roll. So I was one. What did you? I rolled a 5. What did you roll, a 4?
Yes.
So yours would come. Oh, yours would come one later than me. I think.
Right. That's right.
So you are right. So my charge.
Page 61.
But how long does my charge take? My charge. I don't arrive. Do I arrive? I mean, we've been down this road before, which is I win initiative.
What's on? Hold on, David's saying. What's on page 61? The order chart. Oh.
Does everything happen? I mean, just because I win initiative, and does that mean I start my actions on that round, or does it all happen then? I mean,
well, based on the order of things, D is discharge missiles, magic attacks, or cast spells. E is close to striking range or charge. So you could argue that the spell goes up. I would do it. I would basically, if I really cared, which I don't. But if I cared, I would determine your movement at 50% by segment. You're moving at 50% more by segment.
Right. That's right.
And I would say that it takes 5 segments to bay, halfway through the round, just as an average thing, because we don't have a casting time.
You got to kind of like clear your throat.
Yeah, it's got to warm up. It doesn't, this baying just doesn't start. It's a crescendo.
Right. You know, like an opera, you just don't walk out there.
Right.
You're, me.
Right, exactly.
Okay. So what you're going to say then is that, and obviously there's a lot of discretion here, but you're going to say the baying gets out after I arrive.
Well, it happens at the same time. So you get your attacks in the baying. The baying gets to a crescendo just as you strike him.
Starting right as I.
Right.
Okay.
I'm going to go with that. How's that?
Do I interrupt your baying?
Well, if you kill me, yeah, you'll be. You'll interrupt
my...
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay.
All right, so you get your attacks. So charging attack, now here's another question. How many attacks do you get charging?
Well, don't I get what do you mean?
You want to get your whole, you think you should get your whole attack routine?
What don't I get a whole, do I not get a whole attack? So let's say that I get 2 attacks per round as a fighter because of my level. If I charge, don't I get 2 attacks when I show up?
Well, typically when you get 2 attacks, it's 2 attack routines. You get one in the beginning of the round and one in the end of the round. But this is all your attack routines. So again, if we're helping the kids, this is why we're talking about that. Oh yeah,
that's right, because this is considered a single attack routine.
That's right. That's right.
Like claw, bite.
Right.
So I think I get 2, don't I?
You would get all of it then.
I get
you get your attack routine.
I get 2 max.
Correct, because it's
so now
one
the
creature.
Question is, we now have reached the question that I alluded to earlier. How do you decide which 2 of the 5 the elephant?
I'd roll D10. If it's a random monster.
Well, is it? Yeah, it's a random. I mean, some of them go together though, don't they? I mean, the 2 tusks go together, a grab and squeeze goes together, and the trampling. So isn't there really kind of 3 choices? It's either going to be the 2 tusks, a grab and squeeze, or a trampling. Don't you think? It's clear. I mean, clearly the 2 tusks go together.
I think you have a choice of whatever you want to do if you're playing.
I'm going to roll a die 6. 1 or 2 is this guy is going to grab and squeeze. I mean, do the 2 tusks. 3 or 4, it's a grab and squeeze of the trunk. 5 or 6 is trampling. Okay?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. I rolled a 2. So I'm going to try to stab you with my 2 tusks, which is awesome.
Perfect.
I'm looking forward to seeing this thing impaled on my tusk as I raise it to the sky. Okay, here we go. I'm rolling a D. I roll a D30 for hit. Is that right?
That's right, D30. Actually, roll percentiles. We're going to start playing. We're going to play roll. We're going to play roll master. If we're going to be this confusing, let's just play roll master.
Right.
Get it over
I get
with.
+2, don't I?
Yes.
Because I'm surviving the charge, right? If it's simultaneous, right? Because you don't go for. All right. I rolled a 17. That would be a 19 modified, and I rolled a 19. That's a 21.
Yeah. See. Another pro tip: don't even look it up. I don't need to look it up. Okay. So 2d12 twice.
Got it. Sounds
Please
great.
do enough hit points to damage.
How many hit points do you have?
I have 12.
Oh God. I rolled a 1.
1.
And a 2.
That's
You're
3.
kidding me.
Uh-huh.
I rolled a 3
That's 6. You could do it.
with a 6.
You could do it with the 6.
You gotta be kidding me.
You could make it happen.
I rolled a 3.
So he's got.
It was horrible rolling.
That's average. You should have killed him.
Right. I'm a below average.
So now you make it. So now you have to make your saving throw. I'm baying.
Okay, I swear to God, if this friggin' thing wins, then I'm just gonna concede that it is
The greatest of all time.
Yes, I will apologize to it. Whatever, fall all over myself, buy the stuffed animal, mastiff, buy a real mastiff, all of that. Okay, I'm 10. Can you tell me what I need? Because when you look this up, I want to know as I roll. Because I'm 10 hit dice. So that's a 10 hit dice fighter on the DMG.
10th level fighter, yes.
10th level fighter, I mean, on the DMG.
You need an 11.
Are there any adjustments
No.
for being a monster?
Nope.
I'd have to, okay.
You need 11. Oh, you're not looking in the monster player DMG. You're the player. You're not allowed to do that. What are you doing?
What about Gary says I die?
As you die instantly.
Right, okay. So I need an 11. I need an 11?
You need an 11.
You gotta be kidding me. All right. Here you go. I swear to God if I miss this. I rolled a 20.
Wow. You didn't roll a 1 this time, so that's good.
And I rolled a 20.
All right. So, congratulations. It's not running away.
You only get to bay once? So you're baying. Is like that it? Are you all bayed out? Like if I'm not scared?
I think you... it doesn't say I could... I mean, I probably could continue to bay, but I don't think it'll affect you.
I mean, it would seem weird, right? I mean, if I wasn't scared, it's like, really?
No.
Doing that again? I mean, it seems like it shouldn't be able to be used.
Yeah. So okay.
It's got some weird.
All right. So no, that's it. You're done with this. Plus,
Well,
by the way, you got +9 to save. Remember, you had that. So.
Why do I have +9 to say? Oh, I got a 29.
Yes. You got a 29.
Okay. Yeah, you're in big trouble. Yeah. So I've never missed it anyway. All right. So we're declaring action.
Where can I read this? He needs. I don't know. I'm trying to read the thing. No, yeah, it's declare action. I'm trying to keep up with the chat because they're talking to themselves and I think they're talking to us. So if they're talking to me, if they want to talk to me, put something like GROGTALK or something because I.
Poor James. I know he's juggling. You have a very hard job.
Wow. It's this job. So.
Oh man, I'm gonna eat your whelps. This is awesome. The baying of a pack is certain to cause panic.
We've read this. We can't read it again. I'm gonna start. I'm putting the rule. I'm putting the new rule. If we've read it once, we're not reading again.
Oh yeah, right. I understand. Now that makes sense that they can only roll once.
We're on page 84 with Monster Manual 2 for those who want to read at home. That's right.
Right. Oh, they can read it, but I can't. Okay. All right. I'm gonna roll for my declare action because I want to randomly decide what I'm gonna do. Oh, it is a 5. I am going. I really wanted to squeeze you, but I'm going to try to trample you now with my 2 feet.
Okay.
What are you doing?
I'm going to attack, but I'm going to hopefully be able to blend in the shadows where you can't be seen.
Okay. Let's do it. Did you just send me a text? Because I heard my phone.
No, that's the grog line. This is probably someone saying, please, for the love of God, hurry up. So.
Right. Okay.
Oh, Rob Ritchie is on now. Hello, sir. We were just talking about your magazine.
Hold on. Maybe that was him. Should we patch him in?
No, I'm not patching him in.
He wants to complain. He should call the grog line.
Well, he's not calling the grog line. Dan thought you were complaining about the Shadow Mastiff. I thought it was about the baying.
Everything.
Well, yes. But is there anything else about the Shadow Mastiff besides the baying panic that you had an issue with? Please type that in. All right, I rolled a 1 for initiative.
I rolled a 1.
Oh, simultaneous.
Okay.
You get, so we're all going to attack at the same time.
You go first. Go ahead and roll. See how you do.
Okay, so I missed. this is interesting. It says it can strike and then blend with the shadow, so it's 40% unlikely to be seen. Does that mean I have to hit in order to blend in the shadows? Or just that I have to attempt to?
Makes no sense that you got, oh God. What page is that?
2084 of Monster Manual 2.
Stupid thing. Someone should write an article clarifying this. That would make no sense. These hound-like creatures are normally, okay, who cares? And then, okay, who cares?
It can strike.
In shadowy conditions.
Which is, it is.
It's a terrible foe. So, okay, so that means I'm going to err on the side of, like, making it better if it's a close call, because it says it's a terrible foe. It can strike and then blend with the shadow. Says, I think it means that, like, only 40%. Look, why do you have to hit?
Right. Okay, that's what I said. So
I think 40% of the time,
regardless.
I'm just like every round, 40% of each round.
Exactly.
I don't know how we played in the past, probably inconsistently. I'm like, where'd you go? Where'd you go? Where'd you go? I'm like turning around.
All right, so I'm going to roll my percentages.
Is that what you would think? Then, like 40% of the time.
Yeah, whether he hits or not. He says strikes, even if he hits, because
they probably should just increase the AC. They should just give him like an AC of like 94 or something.
Well, I didn't get it. It's 53, so you get your attacks.
I see you.
Yes.
Okay.
So you get your 2 attacks.
Oh, this is done. How many hit points do you have?
I have more than 1.
I'm squashing you.
Less than 4.
I got a 2.
Oh, well, let's see.
2. That's a hit. That's definitely.
Here, 10 hit dice.
I'm 10 hit
They're
dice.
AC 6. No, you need a 4.
And I got a 2. Are you serious?
Yeah.
I got a 6.
You got a 6. Okay, 2 to 12. Literally only if you roll 2 ones.
Okay. I rolled a 2.
All right.
And a 1. I just barely.
All right. Wait a minute. You know what it's time for?
Oh my God. Oh, I think it's coming. Oh, it's coming. You know it is.
Because this thing hasn't gone long enough.
What is it going to be? What's like a big dog creature?
Oh, it's all kinds of dog creatures. But 76. So.
It's finally over.
It's over.
I mean, it's not exactly the same as RBG passing, but it's still. That was a legend.
Well.
You know.
I've never worried about it Justice passing. It's terrible for her family, but it is what it is. And the same thing with the Shadow Mastiff. It's the circle of life. We move on.
Okay.
Is the elephant worried about the Supreme Court? I don't think so.
Oh, I'm like Babar. Right?
That's his name. You got it.
Babar.
Babar. The angry Babar. I mean, you're
the angry Babar. Yeah, because what am I? Or yeah, I'm the rogue bull.
Yeah, you're rogue bull.
Babar, the rogue bull. Yeah, that's like the next. That's an unknown.
Babby. So it's got to be something. Babar sounds. I mean, it's. I like the idea of it, but it's.
Babs.
B. Something tough. He's got to be.
Well, you know, you don't think there was like the unknown book, Babar, the Rogue Bull? That was what it was originally.
The dark years. That's right.
The dark years. He was alone and angry. I like this guy. Yeah, I'm alone, nasty, and I have an aggressive temper. I like him.
Yeah, that's good. All right,
yeah.
So
sounds like my my early 20s.
Sure. Yeah, that's good. All right. So that was supposed to take 20 minutes, by the way. I just want to let you know when I did a.
Right, when you did the estimated time for.
Right. For how long
we're
was
behind schedule. We're like a construction job.
We're like way behind. All right. So spell selection.
Let's do it.
And you have 60 hit points. So okay. So the king is dead. Long live the queen. Is it a female? We should roll.
I'll roll 1, 2, or 3.
Well, it said rogue bull. If a bull is a male.
You're right. Yep, I'm the rogue bull. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pour one out for
roll for the.
Oh, it's a barbarian. I like that. It's a barbarian.
Ah, barbarian.
Yeah, barbarian.
Barbarian.
Barbarian. See,
Barbarian, the rogue bull.
Barbarian, the rogue.
A children's story.
A children's story. And then he met a friendly pup and crushed him.
Oh wait, I get the yelps.
That's right. That's right.
I get
sell them in the market. Sell them in the market. How much for these?
I'm enslaving them.
Okay, great.
So I've got 2 yelps with me, baby. They think I'm dad. Your father's dead.
Your father's dead.
I am your new father. Okay, cool. I got yelps, man. That is a circle of life. They think they're elephants. Yeah.
That's right.
Okay.
This is a tough world out there. This is why random encounters, you run from them. You don't get near them. No good can come from them.
Okay, roll for the type of spell, sir.
Type of spell.
And now we can put behind us that controversy over how to play that dog.
Well, guaranteed, for those who play in one of our tournament modules, if you don't think you're going to see a shadow mastiff,
right, or an elephant,
right,
or a rogue bull, you got another thing.
And yeah, that's like we're like telling what's on the final exam.
Right, we're giving you hints. That's
Right.
what in class, so you get the benefit of that.
99.
Whoa, does that mean anything?
That means it's a cleric spell if we're using the scroll rule.
We're using the scroll rule. I like cleric spells. I'm glad.
So you can roll the next percentage. Go ahead. This is because it's a team effort. We're a team.
Okay, well, unfortunately, that would require me to. I always have trouble finding stuff in the player's handbook. Okay, so it is a cleric spell. We have 7 levels.
No,
so...
I'm sorry. We still have to figure out if it's a druid spell.
Ooh, all right, I'll roll that one. Okay, so I'd want to roll low. I want it to be druid because that sounds like fun.
Yeah, you want to roll low. Correct.
Okay. 62.
No,
That'd be
it is a cleric spell.
Okay, you want to? So all right.
D8.
Oh, D8. Okay, that's the pointier one.
Yes.
No,
also known as the hit dice one.
Yes. I've been rolling 10 hit. Now you're like, that's why Dan's characters had all those hit points. He's always rolling a D10. All right, 7th level. Oh, it's gonna take forever now. Okay, you want to roll the D10?
Sure. 4.
Wow, gate.
We did gate. We can't do it again. So reroll.
We've done gate.
Yes.
I didn't know that.
I think we've done gate, guaranteed. I don't know if we've done cleric gate. We've done gate.
Yeah, you gated that. We have talked about it because you don't know what's coming through. Like, don't you try to something come through, but it may
Right.
not. Something else may come.
Yeah, we're not doing gate.
And they're just angry, and they start. It's like an
that's right.
80s movie where you like something comes in and just starts attacking you.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. I'll roll it. All right. I'll roll the D10. You've been fired.
That's right. Thank you.
5. Holy word.
Oh, okay, cool. This is
Or an unholy word.
yeah, this is good.
Okay. Holy word. It sounds like a Christmas song, Carol.
Oh, unholy word.
Holy world. All right. Word. Sorry, not world. Okay. So we are flipping and turning.
Page 53 of the player's handbook.
Please be. Oh, it's short. Cool. Level 7, range 0. All right. So the utterance of a holy word has tremendous power. It drives off evil creatures from other planes. So yeah. Oh, so yeah. You really need to. So you want to cast? Can you cast this in hell?
No, usually not.
Well, you don't want it. Forcing them to return their own plane of existence. It further affects other creatures of differing alignment as follows. So this is okay. So yeah, I mean, this is really to face big time stuff. I mean, it's coming from other planes. I don't need this unless I think something really. This is not my daily spell selection. Like, oh, I'm going to go to the market today. I better take holy word. Unless I think that magic user is going to gate in something, right? Is that
Right. Well, this is if yeah, you gate something in and something sad happened. Then you can
so
send
that's right. So I want this as a backup when I use gate.
exactly.
Something goes wrong.
Back to the shadow kind of thing, but back to the gates, back to hell. That's right.
Yeah, so I could have done that too if the Balrog
Mm-hmm.
had been from another plane. It'd be gated in,
Right. Exactly.
like back to the shadow. Okay.
Well, I mean, it's this is now look at it, see how cool it is.
Yeah, this next one looks pretty cool here. So it further affects other creatures of differing alignment. Wait, any differing alignment?
I knew you were waiting for that.
Okay, wait. Does the DMG talk about this?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Because that I would have thought.
But it is controversial. To me, it's controversial.
Yeah, because I would have thought it would be like opposite alignment. So I'm like lawful good, and I can like do something. This can work against a neutral good. That doesn't seem right.
Or well, I would have. I wouldn't have gone that far, but I would have said, does it affect neutral people?
Oh, there's an entry.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Okay. Page 43 of the DMG.
43. Gary has spoken.
Gary is speaking, the holy word. The speaker must be from the plane upon which it speaks in order to have the utterance send the other creature to their own plane. So in other words, you got to be. So I need to be on. If I'm from the prime material plane, which I will be, I need to be from the prime material plane and speak it on the prime material plane. Is that what that's saying?
That's right.
Okay. Right. So okay. So it sounds like people were trying to use it. They were going to hell.
Right, and trying to blast people away, blast demons from there, or wherever. Right, correct.
Okay, or whatever. I.e., a devil on the prime material plane. Oh, this is also about using against me.
Yeah.
That's very nice of Gary. I.e., a devil on the prime material plane could not use a spell to send away anything, although it could do so if it were in hell. Oh, so this is very interesting, because usually this is talking about Gary is dialing back on player abuse. This sounds like these may be helping out players.
Well, it's a little bit of both, because this is back to the whole thing of how super powerful players are killing deities. It should not happen. Most of them have unholy word.
Right.
Goodbye. Bloop. You know.
Okay.
As soon as they don't want to deal with you, it should be extremely hard. That's all.
Well, if you're from another plane...
Which is why I'm not a big fan of Queen of the Demon Web Pits. That's another story.
Why not?
Because the goal is to kill Loth.
Yeah.
That shouldn't happen.
Right. Even in my Gnome Skull adventure, you're just looting the palace.
Right.
Like he's... The kobold deity is away. You're just there to loot. You're not there to actually kill that guy. Oh, so... But wait, so... If somebody is from another... So let's say something's from another plane and has been gated in. Do I just send them back to their plane?
Yes.
Or can I use this other chart too? So when do you use this other chart if the thing is not from...
What other chart? No, the other chart is...
What about the kills, paralyzes, stuns? Well, let me keep reading Gary's and then we'll go back to... Creatures sent to their original plane cannot return for 1 day. So they get a timeout for a day.
Yep.
Creatures slowed by such a spell lose their first round of attack and each odd number round of attack thereafter until the duration of the effect wears off. Okay, so here's my question. We now have affected creatures must be within 6-inch diameter. Okay, so I'm confused. So if you're from another plane...
You instantly go back to that plane.
If you're evil, it drives off evil. So let's assume
it's
I'm good.
a different alignment. If you want to be textualist, this is where it drives off evil good creatures from other planes. That's right.
But it further affects other creatures of differing alignment.
Right. As follows.
So is this like a supplemental effect or
Yes.
an alternative? Oh, because I was wondering if this is like the first one is what happens to evil creatures. So let's assume I'm a good cleric. Evil creatures from another plane.
There's a demon and bats, or demon and gnolls and wights, all kinds of chaotic evil goodness come.
Oh, so some undead are actually from the negative material plane.
That's right.
But some are here. Like skeletons are obviously here.
Right.
Zombies are here.
Yeah, but they're neutral.
Wolves are here. Gas are here.
Yep.
But wights.
Well, wights are a little weird because
they
get their... I would say wraiths are from the negative material plane.
Okay, so let's do an easy one. So assuming wraiths are from the negative material plane. Liches, whatever.
Well, liches are ex-humans, so...
Yeah, right, okay. Spectres.
Spectres
are the negative material plane,
correct.
aren't they?
That's right.
Okay. So yours, and they're evil, right?
Yes.
Evil. Okay. So a spectre, if I'm dealing with a spectre...
A former lemur.
That's right.
That's right. We learned that.
That's right. We've been there.
Trying to tie it back.
That's right. Excellent work. So if it's a spectre, the utterance will drive the spectre back to the negative material plane.
Yes.
Right? It'll get a timeout for a day. But you believe then, I also then, because it is of a different alignment of me, I also get to work off of this chart as a bonus effect.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
So if there were 100 men-at-arms, evil men-at-arms, they'd be dead if they were within the area.
Because okay. So if it's a less than 4 hit dice from another plane, rather than being sent back to the other plane, it actually dies.
Well, you could do it either way.
No, you think I get the choice?
I don't know if you get the choice. I think the DM can decide one way or another.
Because it could be read that if it's not from another plane,
Well,
if you're either plane, you're just sent back.
yes.
If you're not from another plane and differing alignment, then you use this chart as
That's how I've always read it, because it's in order of priority, which is goodbye other planar creatures, then because of the power of your deity and the power of the cleric, this is what it does to anything that's left there.
Okay, I agree. That makes sense to me. Okay, so I can walk around and use holy. So let's say I'm an evil cleric.
Then you do unholy word.
Right. I can walk around and you say unholy word. So now it's the cleric in the marketplace. I can walk around and I can be a cleric magic user, right?
Yeah.
I be what, half elf?
That's no cleric. Well, you'd be dual class. Most of the liches are dual class.
Isn't there a cleric magic user? Is it cleric half elf?
A half elf can be one, but you'll never get to this level.
Oh, good point. Well, yeah, but my DM was nice and didn't said no level.
Oh, no, then yes.
No, I'm not going to do that. Okay, so if I'm an evil cleric, the evil high priest.
Right, in the market with the evil wizard, or it could be the evil wizard cleric magic user, dual class.
So I go there, and I just say this, even though you're not from another plane. I just kill. You're less than 4. I just kill you.
Death.
There's no saving throw.
Correct.
None.
But you.
Oh my goodness.
The power of Christ compels you. Gone.
What level do I have to be to cast?
Well, actually, the Chamberlain of Australia put it in there for us. You have to be a 16th level cleric with an 18 wisdom, because you have to have 18. Only clerics with 18 wisdom can learn 7th level spells, and as we know from the deities and demigods, that you get those directly from your deity.
Is that in the wisdom?
Yes,
chart?
it's in the wisdom chart.
Because we talked about this ages ago, which is that those charts have little nuggets there of information.
Correct.
Now, it's not only the asterisks and the footnotes,
Right.
but it's also, yeah, that's right, minimum wisdom for a, yeah, look at this. And you need to have a 13 wisdom, it says, for a multi-classed half-elven cleric character. He drops that in there.
Right.
A little 13 there. I don't know if that's anywhere else. It mentions that if you want to be a half elf. Okay, that's horrible.
Right.
Is there anything similar like that with the magic user? Or just like
Power Word Kill does that, or I think it's Power Word Kill.
So you think? So just the deafening is not okay. Oh, and there's a chance of failure. Oh my gosh! So you could get a scroll with
holy word, yes. Mm-hmm.
And let's say I'm a first level cleric. I got to be 16.
Right.
Is that what's 15 times 5?
Yes. So you have a 75% chance of it going horribly wrong.
But I have a 20. Oh my God! What happens when it goes wrong? What's the backfire chance? Isn't there a backfire chance?
Well, now we have to look.
That would kill me. But so I could have a 25% chance of using that scroll and just killing.
Right. But a lot of people, bad. Just go in the town square and wipe them out.
Wow. But I can't use it, but I got to be on my own plane. So if I'm somewhere else, okay. That is horrible.
All right, so if it's 15th level difference, you have a 50-50 chance of either total failure or harmful effect, reverse or harmful effect.
And the reverse, right. And so...
Which would be death.
Probably.
Because your first level, it'd be death.
Oh, you think reversal or harmful, if it's clear it can operate as a reverse, you do the reverse. That the harmful is just if like the reverse wouldn't make sense.
Right.
You think it's reverse. It's the backfire happens on me.
Yeah, especially in this case, if it's a holy word, why would the holy deity allow for an unholy word to be launched? That doesn't make any sense.
Well, I'm using the... Well, no, I mean, it might be it's a scroll.
But it's the deity's power still. That's done it. I guess you would have to argue, is magic a unaligned force that once it's codified in the scroll and it's sealed up and it's unleashed, if it's not done properly, all bad things can happen, or it's a marker for the deity to say, yep, you can put that on there, and but when I release it, I'm going to do it accordingly. And in this case, it would make more sense that, Moradin, the god of the dwarves, if the first level cleric tried to do that and it didn't work, which again is all kinds of stories because dwarves can't be 16th level clerics, blah, 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 blah. And he was in the area with goblins, he wouldn't kill his own dwarves from it by casting Unholy Word. That seems silly.
But I cast Holy Word.
Right.
But I'm low level, and so it backfires and it kills me.
Well, it kills you because you're an idiot. But it should.
I'm competent.
Right. But should it kill everyone, all the other dwarves around you who are lawful good?
Oh. Well, what is it?
Because if it reverse would be Unholy Word.
Wait, why am I using the reverse? I'm trying to kill goblins.
You're not. That's my point. You're saying, why wouldn't I pick the reverse of this versus adverse effect? That was what I thought the question I was answering.
Oh, no, I think I was just saying. No, I wasn't saying the reverse. I was just saying I'm casting it off a scroll and I don't have the competence.
Right. If you're a good person, you're a dwarf, you're with the 12 dwarves and Bilbo.
Right.
And you're in the goblins, and somehow you find the scroll of Moradin that has Holy Word on it, and you fail, and it's 50% chance it doesn't work, or 50% reverse or adverse. I would say it's adverse, it just kills you. It doesn't kill the whole party.
I agree with that.
It would make The Hobbit a really short book at that point.
No, and I agree with that. Well, and it only works it dries up. Oh, I see what you're saying, because it further affects other creatures. Oh, it's got an area of effect of 30. So in other words, this is not just a single target.
Yeah, it's like
everyone who hears it.
Right. That's the point.
Oh, this is brutal.
This is the opening of the Ark.
Yeah. It's like a little atomic bomb. It's like a little nuclear weapon.
Exactly.
Oh my God. Yeah, it's like with the Ring where they all fell,
Yeah, that's right. When he's sitting up.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
3-foot radius. So you really want to walk up there. You want to pretend you're parlaying.
Right.
Hey, goblins.
Exactly.
What's up, dudes?
Yeah. This is where you see Demogorgon, you're in your protection circle, he's about to do, that's when you, and the creatures, and he's sending his goblins or someone to get you out of the protection from evil things so he can eat you, and that's when you go,
oh my gosh, I'm with you now, my friend. So what you're saying is, it may have been, I always get this wrong. I don't think Gandalf was counted as a member of the party, because the problem was they didn't want 13. Isn't that right?
I think so, you're right.
They didn't want to be unlucky. And I think it may have been 13 dwarves maybe, plus 1 for Bill, because they weren't counting Gandalf. And let me tell you, I think Dory is the real hero of The Hobbit. You heard it here first. But, we're the Hobbit. So we're the dwarves and Bilbo.
Right.
Gandalf, of course, is gone again.
Right.
He's off with fighting the necromancer or something stupid, right?
Right.
And we're surrounded by all these goblins, just tons. Yeah, So we're in the goblin mines.
Right.
The great goblin is like, "Who are you?"
Yeah.
But we're all in a little cave area.
Right. And during the thing, Bilbo found the ring, and by the way, next to the ring was this scroll of Holy Word.
And the good news is, we have a cleric with us for whatever reason, right? So we have an NPC.
Yeah.
Dwarven cleric.
Well, one of the dwarves is his side job. He's a dwarven cleric.
He's a cleric. He's an NPC clearly because he's in parentheses.
Yep.
And he and so he's like, I'll take this out, and he reads it. And so everyone within a 30-foot radius is going to,
depending on what level they are, bad things.
The Great Goblin is like level 4, because that can make sense to me, right? Right. The Great Goblin is only like level 4.
Exactly.
So he's level 4. Everybody, they're just dead.
Dead. That's right.
But if it backfires, oh my gosh. Then the question is, what does backfire mean?
Well, that's what you say. I would infer that why would these poor other dwarves be killed by a quote now unholy word? It would just be adverse to the person casting it.
Oh, see, I see what you're saying now. Is you're saying that you think that if so the question is, what happens from the low level, the incompetency, basically.
Right.
You can't handle this scroll.
That's right.
Kind of deal.
It's like the Crystal Skull when Kate Blanchett learns all the knowledge from the aliens, and she just.
Oh, yeah. So this really is a tough call for the DM, because the DM's got to decide. It's a terrible choice. Do you simply die, caster,
Right.
or assuming I'm less than 4 hit, because I was level 1, right? Because otherwise you'd say, well, you're just paralyzed or you're stunned.
Yeah.
Or you're all stunned. That would be a lot easier if they're high level. You're all stunned. You're tied up, and now it's A4, the slave lords, I guess, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah. Or does everybody die?
Right.
I don't think the casting screw up. So this is just my thought. I understand your point. It's a very reasonable one. I tend to think that once the spell is on the scroll, the deity has done his or her work, and you've just bungled the spell because you're incompetent, you can't handle it, and so you screw it up. You don't say it right, something's a little wrong. I don't view it as the deity is now unhappy with you for trying this and is going to kill everybody or not kill everybody. But I understand your point. That'd be a tough one. So this. I guess here's the lesson. We know the lesson. We really shouldn't be trying to cast this off a scroll,
Right.
if you are low level, unless you're you have no other choice.
Right. Well,
If you're going to die, you might as well do it then, because then it's like, well, did we just die? We're going to die anyway. We're surrounded by the goblins.
And that's why I think a lot of DMs, myself included, have put in scrolls of ridiculously powered things. Because A, it's a one thing, and B, they're going to be, if they understand the chart on page 120 of the DMG, which is what we're talking about, the level difference. If you fail your spell, if you make your, in this case, if you are unlucky and you don't make your spell failure, which in this case, if we're going first level cleric, 16th level need to cast is 75%. There's a 15th level difference. It's 50% chance of total failure, 50% chance reverse or harmful effect. So first of all, you'd have to roll 50-50.
Correct. So you're not right.
Then if, let's say, it's reverse harm effect, then you'd have to decide. So some people said, hey, maybe you go to the plane. He saves you by bringing you to your plane. Who knows? You could come up with something.
See, because I think that reverse or harmful gives you a lot of discretion. I don't think you have to say, you could read that as you're not required to do reversal if there is something that's clearly a reversal.
Right.
You could read it as DM discretion. You can reverse it, you do harmful, have fun with it. But you realize what's happening now has happened, don't you?
No, I don't.
Okay, well, like our next tournament adventure or something like that has to start with the party surrounded by a ton of goblins.
Right.
You don't mention it to the party. You just hope the cleric remembers that there is a holy word scroll in there, which he's not high enough level to cast. And so your adventure could end right at the beginning, or it could work. And so we just tell people, you don't really need to pack a lunch. There's a good chance, you may want to make alternate plans. But I think we got to drop that scroll in there, don't you think? That's fun. This was good.
All right, so there you go. It's a good,
That was fun. I like that.
Super powerful spell.
Well, I like it. I don't like it at higher level where you're dead. I don't like that. I like, you find the scroll in your lower level, because I love the random.
Right. Well, it's the same. I criticized some of these gonzo modules that you ran where you're first or second level and you're finding limited wish and scrolls. But in some ways it's good, because then there is a chance. You don't have to, as a DM, concoct some kind of, you and I are fans of, this is the encounter, it is what it is. If the party did something stupid or not, they just got unlucky.
All right, you're dead.
That's it. So here you give them a chance to pull some magic out of the hat. It could be small, but at least they have a chance. Where if they don't have these scrolls or magic items, they have no chance. It's it's just a numbers game. And I think again, that's what makes the game fun. If it's just a grindhouse, I mean, people play that, and that's fine
Grindhouse.
too.
That's our next album. Grindhouse, or is that it sounds like a techno band? It's like Bauhaus.
Grindhouse, yeah.
I see like a sausage maker on the cover of our first album. Yeah.
Just your character sheets, the goldenrod character sheets.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're right.
Put it in the grindhouse. Exactly.
That should be a cover of Turning and Flipping. I'm sorry, Flipping and Turning.
Flipping and Turning.
Yeah, I think character sheet coming. All right. That was fun. I like that spell. We need to incorporate that.
All right. So shockingly, we're running late.
Well, how late? Well, Vic's coming on at 10, isn't he?
Yeah, he's coming on at 10.
So do we have time? So if he's coming on at 10, can we squeeze in 25 minutes?
Of Dragon, yeah.
In the heart of a Hobgoblin Lair?
Oh, okay. You want to do that, or you want to do the Dragon?
Oh, we probably should do the Dragon because we're going to be...
Right.
This is the last month. Let's do the Dragon real quick.
All right.
The Hobgoblin Lair will have to wait.
All right. So...
I thought it was okay.
What was okay? Oh, the Dragon magazine?
Yeah. I know you're pulling that up there, so...
Why don't I see this? What happened to it? Did it go away? No, it's right there.
So are we doing? Maybe we're doing Hobgoblin Lair.
That's right. Oh, here we go. All right. All right. Hold on. Hold on. Of course. Yeah. All right. Dragon 41 is today's exciting dragon.
September 1980, 40 years ago this month.
Which is crazy.
Yeah, you'd think it was even crazier if you're one of the people who wrote for Dragon at the time. Really?
Right. That's a long time. All right. Cool. So hopefully people can see that. Oh yeah, I can do this. I can do this.
Oh, you can show it to me?
I think so. Let's see. How's that?
That's awesome. All right, thank you very much. So there it is. I thought the cover was, I don't know. Not
Yeah,
lovely.
it's
I mean, the artwork's fine, but I don't know. It's like first day of school or something, and yeah, it's...
Right, it's not all that.
No, I don't...
So, the first thing that I have in my notes is page 4. And why is page 4 important? Because Gary, once again, has to put the smack down. This is apparently Gary had a lot of free time, and he was invested in this issue. I'm just going to say that. That's the theme.
Yeah, so the dwarven beard seems to be a big issue for people because you got to love the audience here, right? 2 people write in after Gary had said dwarves have beards, and it pointed out that apparently there's a reference in Lord of the Rings to a female dwarf, and she was referred to as fair as Galadriel.
Wow.
And the argument, there you go, because let's face it, Cate Blanchett, she's easy on the eyes.
Yeah.
And it the argument was that if you're a female who's as fair as Galadriel, it's pretty well impossible that you have a beard.
That has to be some beard.
Well, that would be no beard. It couldn't be a beard if you're as fair as Galadriel. You wouldn't have a beard. The argument is that's evidence that dwarves don't have beards. And Gary says I thought this was quite interesting. Gary says the dwarves of D&D are not based on the dwarves of Lord of the Rings, right? Isn't that where he says that in this letter summary?
Right, yeah. Sorry, but the dwarves of D&D and or AD&D are not drawn from J.R.R. Tolkien. Any resemblance between the dwarves of my games and Tolkien's works might arise from the fact that they were... Oh, I'm sorry, he didn't put that in. The fact they were drawn from Teutonic and Norse mythology. If you use Tolkien for your source as the facial... Histerness? What is that word?
Oh, it's too little, but I remember there being a word that I didn't know.
Hirsuteness. Hirsuteness of female dwarves, then why not use magic as well? Basically, his argument is, because I didn't copy one thing, don't copy, just because my thing is from Vance, my magic system's from Vance, doesn't mean that's from that, So
it sounds like so female dwarves have beards. Is that what we're taking? Is that the takeaway?
That's what he's saying.
He seems to spoke. Well, he's Gary. That's fine. Okay, yeah. So female dwarves. He's. I don't know if I bought his argument that fair means. I mean, I know fair can mean light-skinned.
Blonde.
So that must mean that the dwarf in Lord of the Rings was. But it doesn't matter. It's moot because he says they're not the dwarves of Lord of the Rings, which I think would come as a surprise to a lot of people,
right?
But myself included. But he really seemed to have not been a big. Well, I shouldn't say not a big fan of Lord of the Rings, but boy, it really seems much more that pulp stuff. And we asked Ernie about that, if I recall.
Yeah.
We had him on. But okay, so all right, so dwarves have beer. You don't want to have beards. They don't have to have beards in your
Right.
game.
Well,
Okay.
I mean, and so then another guy says he's right. So the fact that this is what people were worried about.
Right. And we are. What? And who's worse? We're talking about it 40 years later. So all right.
Yeah, who's worse? Exactly. Well,
Right,
we're worse because we're insane.
40 years later. All right. I thought that was interesting.
All right, so moving on to the next thing on my list, because again, this is available online if you guys want to. The next one was page 6, Reflections on a Real-Life Cleric.
Oh, that was very good. I thought. Did you read that? I mean, I know we don't always have time to read everything real carefully, and we kind of pick and choose. Did you read that carefully?
Yeah, I mean, I read it. It was interesting because again, how a cleric would, this is someone who is a cleric. Was, I'm not sure. Hopefully he's still alive, in the United Methodist Church, but played D&D.
Yeah, and he had done, was it Chromatic Dragon? He had written an article, and they had found out that he was
An actual reverend. That's right.
a reverend. I don't know my different categories very well.
I think he's a reverend, a priest. Well, my understanding is priests. The difference between a priest and a reverend is priests in Catholic faith is that they can perform the sacraments. Reverends do not claim they can perform the sacraments, but the sacraments have a mystical ability.
And do priests get more spells per day than reverends?
Hold on, I'm being told I need to resize this because people can't see it. Okay, I'm going to make it.
Yeah, I just see a black screen. Yeah.
Oh, you don't see it now?
Now I see some of it. Now I see it. It went black for a second. Now I see it. I hadn't seen it at all until.
All right, hold on. I got to make it bigger.
It's wizards. They're watching.
That's right. They're not watching. It's fair use. We're doing it. This is fair use.
Actually, this is
the
I would think
epitome of
this
fair
is quite.
use.
We are being critical. That actually probably is quite. People probably overuse what they think is fair use. This probably would be fair use because we are actually critiquing this. So I thought that article was very good because he had apparently written an article. I think maybe about chromatic dragons. I can't remember, and they found out that he was a reverend. There it is, reverend, yes. And so they thought that was very interesting because we had seen an advertisement, hadn't we, in one of the prior Dragon magazines where they wanted people who were priests and reverends to write in.
That's exactly right. Because what time is this in this? What's the year? 1980?
I assume Satanic Panic is
the Satanic Panic? Carlos Santana.
Did I say Santana? The
Satanic Panic. That's what you said. The Satanic Panic. That's great.
The Carlos Santana Panic.
Oh no, he's playing guitar again. Not the Satanic Panic.
Santanic. It was a Carlos Santana death metal project. A little known. So what was great was that he talks about. I thought he was a very good writer. He very eloquently explained how it's a game that has a lot of redeeming qualities, can be very helpful to people. He has a group of reverends or ministers, whatever, even as a member who plays a very good assassin. So I thought that was very good. So I thought it was a very good defense of playing D&D in opposition to the Satanic Panic. So,
right, it's a game, folks, and just like anything, if you go lose your mind, then you've got a problem with it. But he's coming from the C.S. Lewis, Tolkien, who people have said that they've infused their worldview. And again, I think most people who write, they have some part of their worldview, whether they're exploring it one way or they're, using it as a mechanism to either validate or test their worldview. It's in there. So again, it was it's interesting, and I thought he did a really good job. So definitely worth reading.
Yep, I liked it. Okay, what do we got next? I just see black, so you have to tell me what.
Oh, black again? Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't worry too much about it. If you just remind me what, I don't know if everyone is seeing black.
No, everyone else, I see what they're seeing. So.
Okay, well then you just let me know what it is. I'll remember it. I don't need to see it.
There, hopefully you can see it again. I shared it.
Yeah, I do. I see it. Thank you.
So then this is all the melee, which again, it took me about 20 minutes to figure out
Yeah.
that this was the Steve Jackson game. So we didn't read those.
I didn't either, because it's a separate game, yeah. And the Giants of the Earth,
I'd never read it.
My problem is I haven't read a lot of the fantasy literature, and I feel bad about that. I love Lord of the Rings, of course, and I've read now recently the Fritz Lieber stuff.
Oh, really? Good.
It's Fritz Leiber. Yeah, I've been, the Fafnir Grey Mouse. I like that gritty kind of milieu. But so a lot of these I just don't know very well,
Right.
So that's why I don't pay a lot of attention. But I assume if you'd read it, it would be a lot of fun to see these characters with their stats.
Yeah, so that you can kill them. That's great.
So you can kill them, exactly. Exactly.
And again, more Giants of the Earth, Norse deities. I didn't read the Dragon's Blood thing. That didn't have it. Even though Tom Mulvey did part of it, I just had no interest in that.
No, I agree. And this was like the elves and dwarves halflings for appearance sake was like very different, right? I mean,
Right.
like different color elves. This seemed to be. I'm looking for things that will fill in gaps or be maybe little tweaks on the 1E rules. That's usually what I'm looking for out of this. So that wouldn't have interested me at the time.
Yeah, well, this was, like you said, that the later part talks about what colors they are, their eye color, and I guess it's useful. So, but I didn't read it.
Is it for? Yeah, but doesn't it? It seemed like it went against maybe what some of the 1E descriptions
Well,
are.
when we get to 46, we'll look into that.
Yeah, I hate that too. Why? That drives me crazy. Because then I just stop reading. The Trolls was for some other play, right? It was.
Yeah, I didn't read it.
Oh, this was. I think this was the Land of Divine Right. I think.
Yes, I believe so.
Right.
Yeah.
The game.
And again, I'm sure some of it's interesting. We just, Dan and I have said, if it's not AD&D First Edition, when I was that age, I certainly didn't do it. And now that I'm old, I'm reading it back just for First Edition. It's unfortunately, it's maybe it's because of YouTube and all this other stuff. I just don't have the patience to.
No. I'm looking for interesting spells, magic items, monsters, adventures, 1E. That's what I'm looking for.
So the next this was about a wargaming, which we like wargaming, but I didn't read it because I don't care about wargaming.
Correct.
In this context.
I would have bought the General.
Yeah.
Avalon Hill. If I was interested in a magazine for wargaming, I would have bought the General.
So, which, by the way, there it is, the portfolio 40 years ago, which again, next week, that's going to be my suggestion, talking about next week. You could buy Greyhawk Con coming up.
Yeah, Folio Edition, 1980. That came out August 1980. So Bizarre the Bizarre. Okay, so More Than a Door. All right, I'm going to roll. Tell me, I thought this chart was okay, but
right, because you're a door fan. You're pro door.
Yes, so I like this. I like doors being unusual, but the thing is, I don't know that I need a random chart. I like a list to draw ideas, but I don't know that I want to just roll randomly of what this door does. And I don't know that any of these ideas are amazing to me, but so I guess this gives you ideas to spruce up your doors. That's fine with me. I mean, to me, what people want to know is which way does it open, and they always want to know what are the hinges made out of.
I'm going to zoom in for our listeners so they can see this.
I rolled a 10.
It's an ordinary door. That was fun.
Oh yeah, all right.
Roll.
I see. 69. It's an ordinary door. All right. Let's assume it's. I have an ability.
No, keep rolling.
Okay. 77.
There you go. See, don't give up on the dice. 77.
Sorry.
You get an ability from the table below.
So my door has an ability, so I can unhinge it and take it with me, and use it. 1.
1 to 9. It's an intelligent door.
Whoa! Now, actually, I hadn't noticed this. See, the dice are telling me, Dan, you missed something interesting. You can have an intelligent door?
So D4.
But then you got to know, is it like a sword? Like, how intelligent? I mean, can it speak? Does it have to have a certain intelligence? All right. D4. That's
what it says, D4.
1.
It's a lawful good door.
Can I roll 3 6-sided to see its intelligence?
Sure. It's not how you do it for a sword, but yeah, you could do it that way.
Well, I know, but how do you do it for 9? I mean, how do you know if your door speaks?
He's an average intelligent door. Well, that's why if you use the sword one, if it's a magical door, which I assume, since doors don't normally speak, I like the idea of using the sword table to figure out if it's how it does. So that's on page 166 of the DMG. Now, it's already said it's intelligent, so...
That's true. You're right. It's intelligent.
So basically, I would roll a 100 and divide it by 4. Here's my thought. It can't be 1 to 75, which is no intelligence. It's already said it's intelligence. So roll a D100 divided by 4, and then that will determine what...
I'm in 81, so divided by 4 would be 20.
So it's 20-something. So it's pretty high up there. It's 15 intelligence.
It can speak.
And it can speak, exactly.
Do I get the minor powers?
No, you don't get the minor powers.
But so I just can speak.
Right. So now you have an intelligent, lawful good door.
And you're like, where's the magic mouth? I'm like, magic mouth? What do you take for me for? What do you take me for? A magic mouth?
Well, and then you have to roll the personality on the non-player character personality.
Yes, you have to do the whole personality. So it's like a rude door.
A lawful good, rude door.
Well, you could be like a grumpy and lawful good. I think.
I agree. Yeah.
That would be funny. Yeah, because it's like kind of like the rough exterior, but you got the heart of gold kind of door. And so when you chop it down,
tough love. Yeah.
Tough love. So when you chop that thing down, he's like, "What the?"
Yeah,
that would be funny. He starts chopping on a door, and the door starts screaming. I was sleeping. What's happening?
Yeah, and of course, we say it's 5 rounds to. It's a certain amount of rounds. I remember reading.
It's a terrible death.
Yeah, so I'm still dying. Will someone help me?
I'm not dead yet. I'm awful good. Is there a cleric cast no alignment? I'm telling the truth. Take me with you.
Oh, don't.
I hate this dungeon. Everyone keeps knocking me down. All right. That's weird.
I love it. That's good.
And I felt bad about making other weapons intelligent because that's not by the book. A mace but this is a door. So I don't feel as bad anymore. Okay,
so
that's funny.
And then you have some items from our dear friend Ed Greenwood, who, as we learned when we talked to him, was a frequent contributor to Dragon.
Yeah, the only one of the 3 that I particularly liked, I liked the singing sword. I thought was funny.
Yeah, it's not bad.
So, to have a weapon that sings, and I think, he doesn't shut up. It's a little bit like Fred the Fish.
Right.
From Jaquays, so it's probably going to drive you crazy at a certain point. So, yeah, I thought the weapons I tend to like the magic items and the monsters in general from White Dwarf better than Dragon because they seem to be a little zanier.
Right.
Dragon seems a little bit more mainstream to me.
Yeah.
This is a little bit more Metallica as opposed to Slayer. White Dwarf's a little more Slayer-esque. It's a little more mainstream. So, all right. Any thoughts on those?
I agree. It's okay. I mean, it's the problem with all this is it's like monsters. There's so many monsters you forget about them.
Yeah.
Another thing. I don't know where exactly. If you look online, someone is making a spreadsheet. I'm sure there's a database of all the first edition, second edition monsters.
Yeah.
And they broken out by subtype. That is super useful because you're like, okay, I want an undead. Well, there's like 300 undead that you can find now.
Here's my thought though. After the basics, like the Monster Manual ones, at a certain point, can't you just make up your own stuff?
Yeah.
Once they get that weird, like I think every milieu pretty much you're going to want a unicorn and an orc, right? And then the
as long as it's not copyrighted by the Wizards of the Coast, all rights reserved.
Elephant, right? Exactly. Basically you've got you get the stats for these monsters and their abilities. And that's super useful because you don't have to make all that stuff up.
Yeah.
But once you start getting to the weird stuff, I mean, can't you isn't it more fun to make up your own weirdo monsters? Because number one, they're not going to be like all over the place probably. I don't know. It's just kind of like if I'm going to have like bizarro Monster Manual 2 stuff, I'd rather just make up my own monster and have fun with it than like find one in Monster Manual 2. But I don't know. I'm sure a lot of people disagree with me.
No, I think it goes back to 2 things. One, what are you trying to accomplish with it? Something to fit, you want monsters to fit the specific story? Yeah, then you should want to build it. The second one is somewhat to blunt metagaming where it's boring. See, I don't mind metagaming when it gets good play. Metagaming's a problem when the play becomes boring because like, oh, it's a goblin, oh, it's this, oh, it's that. If you make them undead cannibals, right, and use the goblin stats, well, that's fun. Okay, they're goblins, but now you made them cannibals. Or you need a certain creature, but you're just taking the stats of a ghoul, and now you're calling it something else. So both of those are good. The problem is I'm lazy, and I don't have.
Well, that's right.
I don't have time to do all that.
No, that's right, and that's what it does. It does serve that purpose absolutely. That they're off the shelf. You can grab them. So yes, no, there's certainly a place for it. I just find myself not using many monsters from the Monster Manual 2 and the Fiend Foe. Some I like, but it would be like Animal Skeleton, things that are like, I think should have been there all along. Or if you wanted stats for an ordinary cat. But I don't find myself going through the Monster Manual 2 and Fiend Folio and using monsters from it very much. Because if I want weirdness, I'm going to have fun with it. But okay. So yeah, Gary. Oh boy, Gary.
So this is, some guy is really bold. He just writes on to Out of the Limb, which is the. I still don't get this. You're the creator of the game, and you're writing letters to the editor.
It's hilarious.
It's pretty funny.
Well, that's what Rob Ritchie's going to make us do.
That's right.
Right? I mean,
Dear editor, I think this sucks. Okay, so this was great. This is worth the price of admission.
He's a little grumpy here, isn't he?
Right.
Don't you think? Because he's upset with, right? He doesn't like. He's upset, I think, with our friend, right? Who's been on the show.
Yep.
Right. And wrote about angels because angels will never be a part of it. This is Gary saying this, isn't
That's
he?
That's right. This is, someone who's claiming to be Gary.
Well, it's signed Gary.
Okay.
Isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Right? Oh, yeah. So did I give that away? I step on that?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm sorry.
Spoiler. You just spoiled it.
I know.
So,
sorry.
yes.
Really
for our listeners, in the magazine, in their Out of Limb, which is where people can write to the magazine, there's a title, EGG's Opinions, and it says, for those readers who wish to know the opinions of the individual generally held culpable for creating the whole mess, I offer the following terse comments on 39.
So were these I don't know if they had posters back then, but it sounds like he just left these. He's like, this is what I think of this. Yeah, and he publishes it.
So He says, angels will never be part of D&D, AD&D, as long as I have anything to say about it. That treads too close.
Okay. Angels out. All right.
Well, and I think it's because he doesn't want people to stat Jesus. I mean, it's just as simple as that. Or Muhammad.
Because if you stat Jesus.
That's right. You're going to try to kill him. That's that.
That's horrible. Yeah.
Right.
That's not good.
Or Muhammad, or Moses, or Abraham.
That's not going to do anything good for the. That is going to.
Right.
The Santa. That's not going to help defeat the Satanic Panic.
I'm sure if you look online, there's going to be
someone statted Jesus, like what powers
and the 12
he has.
apostles, and you can be a party of
Right.
evil assassins, and yes,
Right.
exactly. That's
Yeah.
the go to hell game, literally. Okay, the anti-paladin is as useful as a third leg. Nice.
I liked the I liked the anti-paladin write-up. Do you like the anti-paladin?
Yeah, it's fine, but his argument is he's saying evil is so pervasive, why do you need an anti-paladin?
I like anti-anything.
I know.
Anti-ranger, anti-paladin. I like antis. I just do. I don't know why.
And so
I like
the next part, he's basically...
Okay, wait. Why not use a 16-ton block instead? Because anti-paladins are cool and 16-ton blocks are not. When you're standing there and a 16-ton block falls on the party, they boo. When the anti-paladin shows up and wipes out the party, they go, that was cool. We're dead, but man, that was pretty cool. Remember that time that anti-paladin wiped us out? No one's like, yeah, remember that time that 16-foot block killed the whole party because we were all standing in front of that door? That was cool. No one says that. Right?
Well, and that's, a year later in the Fiend Folio, they codify the Death Knight, which is...
It's sort of like an anti-paladin.
Right.
The Death Knight is pretty cool, yeah. But we have an anti-paladin. Okay, yes, keep moving. All right.
So then he says about debauchery and, come on, people, keep it relatively clean. It's a fun game. Don't take it too seriously. He does the Captain Kirk a little bit on this. Don't make it so gritty and weird. Don't be weird with your D&D. Mm-hmm. Don't have Jesus. Don't have orgies. Just isn't it good enough to go into a dungeon and find treasure?
Right.
Basically. Then he talks about female players. He would appreciate more female. That's good.
And I think it's interesting to see that back in 1980, that, you know, it was recognized in 1980 that there was a lack of female players.
Right.
And a concern about that. And, you know, we're still struggling.
Yeah.
With those issues too, with inclusion for women. And so it's interesting. I mean, I think we've made progress in 40 years.
Well, he says that.
I don't know how much. Yeah.
And this is the part that's funny. This is what's funny, is that he says we want more women, and then he goes through and then basically says that there's certain things that women can't do.
Yeah. Is that with the strength?
Well, first, they shouldn't have greater dexterity, and they should have less strength.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, the limits on strength, it's interesting. I wonder how, if you took a poll of female players, how they would feel about that. Like, say the current generation of female players who play fifth, how they'd feel about those restrictions. I wonder, my guess is, you know, a percentage would say, I understand that, and a percentage would be like, I don't like that.
Right.
You know, because people have different views.
But it goes back to, it's a fantasy game. That's why I like the previous rule. It's your world, make it whatever you want to it. And why are you limiting folks? But at my age, at that point, I just accepted it as it was. It's just like, why do dwarves get more constitution? Because they're dwarves. That's all. I just accepted it.
Well, and I don't think, you know, I don't know. It didn't seem like there's a lot of people playing female characters. I mean, I like playing female characters now. I have no problem with it. It's not like I prefer to play. I just, whatever. I don't care. Right. I like to play an interesting character, and that might be a male, it might be a female. But I think back in the day, I don't ever remember playing a female character. I don't think I thought about ever playing a female character. So, you know, I probably had less reason to think about it. If I was female and I wanted to play a female character and I wanted to be a fighter, I got to tell you, I might have thought differently about the limit, because not being able to have exceptional strength could kind of stick. If I rolled an 18,
yeah,
I'd be pretty upset. And then I'd be like, oh, what am I supposed to change my sex now just so I can have 18? That stinks. I don't know. I might have felt differently about it then. You know?
Exactly. So finally, here, this is, to me, is the best one. Here we go again. More of the critical hits business. Worse still, misses which hit the supposedly professional fighter or whack a friend. Stupid, really stupid.
Yeah, stupid, really stupid. Boy, and they had, I think, it already published, because we went through it, right? They had just published not too long ago.
Episode 31, I think it was.
Is that right? Good hits, good hits and bad misses. Yep. And I like that chart. And he says stupid, really. Boy, Gary.
So then, wait a minute, he gets better, because he goes, for those who use a critical hits, here are some for monsters. Because he's like, what's good for the goose is good for the gander, basically.
Yeah, I got it.
So this is what I'm going to start using. Any 20 indicates a critical hit on the character, attack form. Acid dissolving, character's legs destroyed, totally helpless. Bite, character jugular vein severed, instant death. Blow from a giant, character's skull smashed, instant death. There's a theme here. Claw, character's eyes torn out, defenseless. Constriction, all bones broken, permanently destroyed.
Yeah.
Cut, character's head cut off, instant death. Horn, character's heart pierced, instant death. Hug, so when the owlbear hugs you, character's spine snapped, instant death. So there's a lot of instant death, by the way.
So this is a very interesting issue, because we know that probably one of the most house ruled things is crits and fumbles. Right. I haven't done a poll, but I think most players like it, and I know Gary. We all understand Gary's point, which is this is a two-way street. But, you know, players, I think when they roll a 20, and that doesn't have to be your system, but when they roll a 20, they want to feel like you feel like it is a better hit, right? I mean, for whatever reason. And when you feel like you roll a 1, you feel like it is a worse miss, and it adds. I think it adds flavor to it. I don't agree with Gary on this one, but you know.
Do you want me to get the picture of Gary? You want to talk to him?
No, I can see it. It's in my mind's eye. You don't need to show it to me.
He looks like the Indian from those 70s where he's a tear is coming down because the.
Oh, he's not. Is it a tear or is it he seems to be scowling at me?
Yeah, I guess he's kind of scowling at you. So use your imagination for other attacks. Note this is not official, but it's more official than critical hits and misses. As a final word, no more Mr. Nice Guy. There you go.
Yeah, there you go. All right.
Well, as a player, you should not be in favor of critical hits and misses because the monsters, it's better for them. It's just disproportionate, but that's, again, I won't go over that.
But you know what the problem is? So what I like to do is I like to describe combat, as many people do. You like to, show, explain what's happening. You fall, the table breaks, you're on the bed, you hit the pillow, all that stuff. And you're almost sort of injecting critical hits and fumbles there, maybe without a chart. But, it seems like it's fun for combat that if you roll a 1, the sword goes flying, whether it's yours or the goblins. It just, boy, do I get tired of roll, hit, no hit, hit points. It's a war game now. And, I like to be able to imagine the action. And I think the DM can assist with that. And I think that is part of what critical hits and misses do. So, and I was rightfully criticized when I said we're not playing with critical hits and misses. And then when somebody rolled a 1, I'd say, okay, well, your sword flies out because I'm trying to bring in that theatrical nature of combat. And then the player, I think, is quite rightly calling me on that and saying, yeah, but what you're really doing is critical hits and misses. And you said you weren't going to do that. And so can you have a theatrical combat where stuff, not just what you're describing, but stuff is happening outside of just the hit or miss, and not have it be a method of critical hits and misses? Because if you can't, I now think you've really you're having a drab combat, perhaps. So that's all. No Mr. Nice Guy from Gormansky.
That's good. Well, my take on that is if I'm not a fan of them because they're dangerous to the party. It's definitely more wild swings. You could get lucky that they take out the dragon, but they're just as likely, more likely, because typically there are more monsters than players. Right. So, and it's a 5% chance regardless. So they may need, and again, some people adjudicate if you need a 20 to hit and you roll a 20, it's not a critical. And again, you can kind of role play all that. To me, I think there's a lot of people chattering about this. I think you can role play it. I think the part of it is, you can. I hear your point. There's no teeth behind the dramatic things. I mean, you could look at the damage. If you do 8 points of damage, that's maximum damage. Well, you could say that really hurt more.
And someone like Carlos Lysing does an amazing job at that, right? Describing within the parameters of the rules, right? So I don't think Carlos Lysing is changing the effect. He's just describing what the 8 hit points do. So that's a fair point. I mean, we've seen people do it extremely well, like Carlos.
And I think you could open up what other systems do better, which I think AD&D could do because it's an abstract system, is you could have the players want to describe how they're attacking. Because some, like newer players, they're much more into, I kind of get to the side and try to shank them, hoping it's an advantage to them. And we as DMs go, well, that's just an attack. So we already start that process by poo-pooing players who say, well, I want to jump on the table and leap at him and stab. And immediately we go, that's a -4 because you got to make a dex check and everything else. So instead of using critical hits and misses, you could be encouraging that kind of thing as long as it's in the realm of reality, so that they initiate how they attack and the result of it, versus them just saying, I attack, they roll the 20, and now it's up to you as the DM to decide what the result of that is.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with all those points.
But it's harder to do that. I mean, that's more work.
Yeah, it is more work. More work.
And so, again, since I've started playing again, everyone wants criticals and fumbles. And you see them. They roll the 20, and they go 20, and then they look, and you just told them it doesn't make a difference, and you can just tell.
Yeah.
It's like,
It's deflating. They want it to be, yeah, right. Well, what you do is maybe you have a negotiation. You know what you do? You tell the players, you create the chut table. You tell me what it is, but it's got to apply both ways, so it can't be like one way. You create it. It's yours. I don't know. I never had play even when we used critical hits or good hits and bad misses. Even if people kind of didn't like it, I don't remember people being real upset about it. I don't know, but whatever. We've talked about this before. So obviously Gary has made it quite clear.
He's not a fan.
He's not a fan. It's not official, and he's not a fan.
And not to impinge his reputation, but is some of this like the dwarf with Lord of the Rings? Is it because he's concerned that people will then gravitate towards other games, or is it really he just doesn't like that?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it might be that he thinks. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's quite interesting. I don't know why he dislikes it. Yeah, he hasn't really. He's just said it's a two-way street. But if the player's okay, is that his only problem with it? I mean, were people abusing it and making it a one-way street? Yeah. I mean, maybe that's what his problem was.
And you and I agree that's ridiculous. What's good for the goose? Yeah. I mean, he's always give the monsters an even break. That's one of the lines I memorized from the DMG. That's how it should be, and that's what I tell people. You get 20s, and every time that the player wants to jump off the ledge and strike and this and that, if it's not a class feature, right, then the goblin's going to do that too if they can do it.
Well, I remember I was DMing at a convention, and a player jumped and wanted to do, and I'm all for stuff like that. He jumped down and wanted to do a roll, and then like pop up behind somebody or something. Well, he had a flask in his like backpack or something like that, and I said, well, you got to roll for save for that. I mean, you're rolling around on the ground with a flask, and I don't think he was thrilled. I think he understood it, but I think he was also surprised.
Right.
That I said, okay, I'll give you can try that, but you're also going to do a save on and it broke. And I think he was pretty unhappy about it. And I felt bad, but it seemed to me that's what would have happened if you're going to roll around with a flask, on the ground. So, all right.
Yeah, and there's different ways to do it. So people are putting in the comments that, it could just be completely narrative, and that the dice roll determines how successful they are. So, I'm describing the how I'm using my longsword. I'm going for this, but there's no mechanic change, and if you hit, great. What you want to do works, and there's other folks who go, well, if you do that, there's a minus or whatever. And again, the AD&D style, of course, is it's hard to get bonuses. You're just trying to avoid getting negative. So anyway.
Right.
Whatever works for your, I hate to go that way. I mean, clearly what Gary's saying, not a fan. This is what you do. But there's still a lot of room for interpretation. Okay, next one is dastardly deeds and devious devices. So these are kind of traps that made up, and again, it's okay.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of too many traps. Unless they're interesting ones that you got to think about how to get out of them, then that's okay.
You can always get Grimtooth's Book of Traps. I mean, this has got 3.
And I have it, and I don't know. I got to tell you, I know Vic likes it a lot. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of.
Some of it's a little gotcha weird, which is okay if you're playing that thing. So here's a few. I'm not disparaging them, but to your point, I'm not a big trap guy. It's just hard to role play right. People, because then it just slows the game down. It's already slow where people are paranoid. If you start putting too many traps, then that's it. You can't get anything done.
Well, and are there just traps random?
Right,
I mean,
for trap's sake.
People live in the dungeon. Why are there, they got to remember them? I mean, if it's Raiders of the Lost Ark kind of tomb kind of thing, it's been trapped intentionally. That makes more sense.
Yes. Well, going back to the elves and dwarves, that's page 21. They go over the hair length and skin, handedness. Always worried about if they're ambidextrous or not. That's if a player asks if they're ambidextrous or not, we've got a problem.
So these were things that you could do for. So these are for first edition. I guess I didn't pay enough attention. Okay, so these are for.
Yeah, they.
I saw these different colors, and I was wondering if they were different. But what you're saying is no, they line up with.
Well, they're
just
how to color. How to make what a elf should look like. So, is it again, it's nice. I guess I didn't know I needed a chart to figure that out, but okay, cool. Keep going. Oh, guerrilla warfare. I did not read the whole article. The reason I pointed it out was, who is it from?
Oh, there it is. Bill Foster.
Right. So.
Who wrote Angels? Who Gary was.
That's right.
Guess
was exactly hates his.
Publishes and Gary's angry. He's like, seriously?
And Mayfair Games. I mean, there you go. So, coincidence or psychic phenomenon? You be the judge. All right, moving on. So this is I just noted this. TSR Hobbies UK. They want to announce the formation of their sister company. Just kind of interesting for our British customers are directed to this firm. Trade inquiries are always welcome. There you go. I wonder if you can call 022-212-517. What would it?
We should start calling some of these numbers.
Right.
That should be a new segment. See who answers.
Crank call, something like that.
But the problem is, I don't think we can record it, because without their permission.
Well, it depends what state it's in, jurisdiction.
Well, that is, and I don't know what the laws of England are.
I'm sure it's probably not easy. Okay, they could not put this in anything now, this picture.
No. I can't believe that got by legal. I mean, like, are you encouraging people to do that?
So for those who are on the podcast, we're on page 55, and they have a picture of a man. Looks like he's on a guardrail. He has a rope. This is a picture. It's not a photograph. And he has a rope tied around his neck, and there's like a cinder block that he's chucked over the side of the guardrail, and now he's following it. Looks like to his death. And it says, "Don't jump." And it's about how you can get Dragon magazines if you've missed them. I think at this point we have to say, if you're thinking about suicide, you should call the National Suicide Prevention in your country. Please look that.
Or that number above for TSR.
Or TSR. Call Don Torville.
Don Torville.
See if he'll answer. All right. Let's get to the monsters. So the Silky from Tom Mulvey. I did not realize the Silky was written by Tom Mulvey. Now the Silky.
You know the Silky?
I do know the Silky. If it's the same.
How do you know?
Because it's in the Monster Manual too. It's in Monster Manual 2.
I didn't know that. I mean, I got to tell you, when I see Wear Seal, I don't know. I don't know. Do I need a Wear Seal? Do I?
What is this? Page 107.
When I just turn pages in the Monster Manual 2, just weirdness just jumps out at me. Oh, wait, they changed. Oh, they call it it's a Selkie.
Yeah, but it's the same thing. It's Wear.
Why did they change
Sealware.
it? From this?
I don't know.
Why did they change
Maybe they wanted to screw.
Mulvey.
Right.
They had to change it slightly. Okay.
I mean, it's
right.
actually a little bit nerfed because this one's 6 hit dice and 3 plus 3.
Oh. Okay.
But it seems to be almost the exact same thing.
Yeah. Okay. It's a Wear Seal, right?
Right.
Okay.
Well, this one's called the Wear Seal. This one's called a Seaware. Sealware.
Sealware.
This is the shark jumping the tank at this point.
Yeah, Sealware sounds like clothes that a seal wears.
Fashion. Watch her work the catwalk in her Sealware.
I don't mind a seal wear or wear seal. I like lycanthropes of unusual varieties, but they're gotta be you really gotta have an adventure that's screaming for them, right? I'm not gonna be populating my adventure with wear seals, but okay.
Well, and what was it last month? They had a whole thing of different. Was it this or White Dwarf? I can't remember. Had the were sloth, and there must have been a fascination with were creatures back then.
Well, yeah, because sure, why not? Just pick any animal.
That's right.
Name an animal.
Right. Badger.
Name an
badger.
Animal.
Were badger.
There you go. Were badger. Let's have a were badger. Why not? Right. Were everything. Right. Were beetle.
Yeah, it's
all right. So it was okay. All right. I thank you. I didn't know it makes it into the Monster Manual too.
The Tomb Tapper did not, but that's an Ed Greenwood. So again, these are famous people who've wrote these.
the Tomb Tower is okay. I mean, they work with dwarves on occasion.
Right.
You know what I like much better was Roger Moore's. I think it was they're like the tappers. They're the dwarven undead, which had stolen. Do you remember? It's in the best of dwarves. Remember those guys? They're like these little undead dwarves, which are tapping because they stole something and they're being punished because they died trying to steal something, and they endlessly tap. And I kind of like those a little bit better. But Tomb Tappers were.
Yeah, he's a badass, whatever this thing is. So.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Yeah. So.
Yeah, AC -2.
Yeah.
A lot of hit
Well,
dice.
3 attacks, 4 to 20, 4 to 20, 10 to 30.
Wow, it's no elephant.
It is no elephant, exactly.
Shall we do the tapper versus the elephant?
Tapping the tomb tapper. Okay. All right, then there's cartoons. They meh. I'll just say meh.
Okay.
And this is when I figured out that Melee was part of the fantasy trip because I've never played the fantasy trip, so.
I don't know anything about that.
Or any metagaming Steve Jackson. So, Traveler advertisement, and now here's the adventure: the Halls of Bael'dor.
Bael'dor. Yeah, so it looked. I don't know anything about this one. It looked intriguing. I think it had been an old dwarven cleric.
Yeah.
Dungeon or whatever you want to call it, and and so it's hard to comment on these because we haven't run them. I think it's very hard to assess how good an adventure is unless you run it. And now I could be wrong about that, but I tend to think that the proof of the pudding is in the eating. So it looked intriguing to me. I would like to run all of these old Dragon magazine adventures.
Yeah, it's long. It's 3 levels, about 50 rooms. So I'm not spoiler. There's some cool things in here. I mean, the maps are great. I mean, look, they put a lot of time in this. It almost looks like Middle Earth role playing. The fonts and the way it looks like it. So.
It is long. And so it's not. And that's one of the unfortunately, I think, with the Dragon magazine adventure, I'd like to have something that I can run in a single session. So. But yeah, so I thought it was an average. I'd give that Dragon magazine 2 out of 5 stars.
2 out of 5. Wow.
Well, because what are you using from it? What are you taking away from that Dragon magazine?
That Gary hates critical roles.
Yeah, and we already knew that, and that and again, listen, you automatically lose a star from me if you don't have Sage Advice.
Right. If you don't have Gene Wells.
I love Sage Advice. It's so much fun. I really like Sage Advice. I'm very sad. I don't know if Gene Wells is still in the doghouse, the Shadow Mastiff house.
At this point, right.
Because of
I'm calling Vic, so hopefully he's still on. See if he gets on.
Okay.
He's...
Oh, okay. Oh, I better get my... hang on, I got to get my character sheet. I need to remember it. Hopefully he won't lose me.
Why would we lose you?
Because I'm doing others. I'm going somewhere else.
I think you'll be...
You know how my internet is.
Yeah, you're okay.
Hold on.
I gotta bring him up as soon as he's ready.
I think I remember my character, though.
Where are we at here? Okay, gentlemen. Can you even see me?
Not yet. There you go. Okay. Hold on. Let me bring you into the thing. So for those keeping score at home, there is the man, the myth, the legend. Vic, how are you, sir?
Legend.
What?
Legend.
You're a legend in our minds and yours. So.
Oh yeah, right. Legend. Yeah. Okay. Hello, gentlemen. How's your week going so far?
Yeah, it was okay. I guess you're a taskmaster. He's got some things to do. He was stressed out about it.
Yeah, I almost canceled today because you're such a taskmaster.
Who, me?
Yeah, you, man.
He's got work. He's got some work to
Hold
do.
on.
I'm way
Gnome
overdue.
Skull, you've had Gnome Skull for how many years now? You've been working on this?
Well, 11 months,
get it right.
one pandemic. That's...
I got to get it right.
let me see here. James Ward cranked out 20 pages in a week and a half, and you're
Yeah, yes, I'm not Jim Ward. Correct. Yeah. Hey, you hire a Dan Gormansky, you get a Dan Gormansky.
You pay peanuts, you pay peanuts,
Exactly.
you get monkeys.
Now, let me just say, Dan, you've had your module the longest, and you're the last one in because everybody else has got their stuff in.
Oh, I gotta learn how to draw a map. I've bought some pens. Well, I only started agreed to start revising this somewhat. It's not like I've been working on it for.
They had the sale at Office Max for $3 and some odd cents for as much as. I mean, look at this. This is $3.50 for 400 pages of graph paper.
But I needed special graph paper, apparently. All right, well, let's not talk about that. All right, let's get moving because I got to get working on my project.
He's got this project, so
no, you could submit it tomorrow if you want to. I've only got James has already got his. James Ward's got his. Forrest put his in. Robert Ritchie's got his in. I've got mine in. So you're the last one. So I'll be working on those today.
Tomorrow.
I will give you till tomorrow, and then I'm going to send James over to whip you or something.
Thank you.
Maybe have the cats.
I'll hug him. I'll go to the. Now they've opened the bars up here in Florida and everything else. Even though I'll go down to the bar, have a couple of drinks, and then hug Dan. Give him some love.
I need a hug.
He needs a hug.
I always thought hugging me, you finish my adventure.
Well, that'll crush your spine, instant death per Gary. So all
right, let's do. Where are
so
we?
By the way, so Vic is on for those who are listening. Vic is on to continue our, because it's Greyhawk Con is coming up. And because this is the year of the folio edition of Greyhawk that came out in 1980, Vic and Carlos have been gracious enough when they have time to come on and have our two hapless adventurers continue their quest to try to get to Greyhawk, the city of Greyhawk. And so Vic is on to continue that quest. He did it at the last episode, and he's going to continue that now. So thank you, Vic, for spending some time with us to keep this moving forward.
Anytime, gentlemen. All right, Dan, you're in, what is that, Colbutt?
That's right.
What is it up there?
Calbutt. It's not a T. It's Calbutt.
Calbutt. Yes, you're in Calbutt. You're looking for either a wagon train or you're going to ride off to go to the Capitol and try to hitch a ride there on a boat going to Greyhawk.
I feel like I'm going to be the hanging Chad guy. Like looking at this, but now I understand why that dude was doing that. Okay, yeah, no, James. I'm sorry. What's your name? You're not James.
I'm Somnum.
Somnum. I think you didn't have something easier to say. Somnum. So we're heading to Nevend. Is that right? We're heading to Nevend.
Yeah, I'm looking up my notes.
Nevend, the capital.
Yes,
is that right? The Duchy of Ten?
Yeah, we're trying to get out of this terrible thing, yeah.
Well, I think we should go our own way.
Yeah, we're on Colbutt.
As Fleetwood Mac said.
All right. So you're going to stay the night now and leave in the morning?
Yeah, didn't you want to get a hitch? You wanted to travel by that river, right? It looks like
exactly.
The Zumker River has a little tributary.
That's right.
Okay, so yeah, we're going to try to get
south. I have here River Road. There's a river road that goes next to it. And
how do you know that?
Because he told us last time.
Oh, thank you. You took notes.
Because I pay attention to Mr. Dorso.
You're a good student.
That's why I write these stuff down.
That's why he's the A student in your class, Dan.
That's true. Yeah, that's right. All right, so that's what we're doing. We're going to try to find
we have to stay.
Road,
we're leaving in the morning. We're not going out at night. We'll go out.
No. The hobgoblins are around.
Right, exactly.
What are they? What tribe?
The slow death killers. Wasn't it something like that? The slow killers.
Slow killers or something? Yeah. We want to avoid them. Okay. That's what we'll do.
Yeah, they're the ones that are going to spit roast your bodies and feast on them.
Thanks.
Right. Yeah. Feast on his body. Okay. So we're leaving in the morning.
And what's your spell you're going to memorize there, Mendy?
Spider climb.
Okay, I will take sleep today. Trying to find my character.
All right. Well, this well, if you've already selected for this day, remember that. So it's getting to be about dusk. You guys need to find a room. You're directed to a establishment called the Black Stag.
Wow, that sounds inviting. Can't wait. What could possibly go wrong?
Now you roll up to the Black Stag. You see a half orc at the door. He's wearing a nice suit coat and a fancy tie. He greets you with a smart accent and welcomes you into the establishment. You walk into the Black Stag, and the tavern is on the bottom floor there, and there's a table up sort of close to the bar, and one of the local wenches invites you to sit down at it and takes your order for food.
Ah, yes. Well, I'm really liking this place. This is finally more our style, Mendy. Things are looking up.
You know, they've got everything from pheasant and quail to roast pig, whatever your heart desires.
Oh, well, we still have some coin, so yes, I'm going to partake in whatever the as they say in Spaceballs, never have the special. So I'm going to instead I'll have the pork. That sounds good. Roast pork.
Quail for me, please.
Quail. That's good.
All right. So sometime later, they bring out the quail and the pork and set plates, generous portions in front of you.
This is how it will be in Greyhawk when we arrive to our destiny of fame and fortune, Mendy. I can see it. Our fortune is changing now.
I agree.
She says, "Oh, you folks are from Greyhawk."
Well, we're from a suburb outside of there. We're just traveling. We've been on many important missions.
What's a suburb?
Well, one of the small towns outside of it. It was. We're from. What's the name of that? Safeton. That's right. We're from Safeton. See, if she probably wouldn't know how that's like 200 miles away. But details.
Right. Welcome, fine gentlemen and lady, to our establishment. And she gives her name as Olga. And she says she's a burly woman. She says have a fine time. If you need anything from me, just give me a wave.
Oh,
and she walks off.
I'm sure I'll need something from you by the end of the night, Olga. Because I am Sonam the lusty jerk, so that's my job. So. Comeliness 15, baby.
All right. As you're sitting around and you're partaking in this fine meal, which you find really well.
Considering we've eaten penguins and other crap.
Roll me a 10-sided die, James, to see how well you like it. You two.
I rolled a 3.
Oh,
I rolled a 10.
Oh.
Should have had the quail.
Love that quail. James, you're sort of like, it's pork.
Yeah. So it was
it's
overcooked.
James likes the pork, but the pork doesn't like James.
Yeah, it was overcooked.
There's some spice in it that it just doesn't suit your palate.
Well, this is my life. Like you go out with your wife, right? You get 2 separate things, and then you like what she got better than what you got.
Yeah, no, we're not sharing.
Yeah, can I have some of that? Yeah. No. Oh, crap.
No, you know how little a quail is?
Yeah, I know.
You can't share
you
quail.
can't. That's right. So I was upset. I should have had that.
Quail, you got your little drummies, Dan. You're sitting there going.
Yeah.
So, anyways, as you're sitting there, Dan, a big burly barbarian, sits down next to you and starts to hit on you.
Ooh.
Wow. I say as if.
Yeah, I mean, this guy's got to be 6 foot something, and he's half drunk, and he's trying to hit on you at this.
I just look at my brother with a look like.
Well, I grab my sister and say, dear friend, you're obviously powerful warrior, but my wife here is. We're not interested in that thing. But how about a beer? How about an ale? Like Olga, bring our dear friend an ale for his troubles.
And as just as this is happening, you see a elf. What you think is an elf, she's dressed in leather jerkin and stuff like that. Fine stuff. She walks up to the bar and sits down next to the one of the ladies of the evening. She's, or what you assume to be one of the ladies of the evening. She's a big burly gal, and he looks at you and says, "Well, I gotta go," and he goes up there and he slaps the this lithe 5 foot tall little elf on the backside.
Ooh.
and the elf turns, and you can tell she's got some magical gauntlets on and stuff. She turns and looks at him and says, and you're overhearing this conversation. She goes and says, "Excuse me," and the big burly barbarian puts his beer down and says, "Well, hey, honey, how about me, you, and he names the other one as Helga, go upstairs and have a little fun." Well, the elf turns to him and says, "You what?" and Helga spits out her beer or whatever she's drinking and starts to uproariously laugh. And the big barbarian turns and says, "What's so funny? You two are coming upstairs with me." Well, the little elf turns around and with one shot from her fists knocks cold the barbarian. He drops and lays down on the floor.
Ooh.
He pirouettes and drops.
We could use her.
Yeah. Well, you're my sister.
I meant as. Yeah.
Don't do that. Don't go there, Dan. That's terrible.
Don't screw this. Don't screw this up for us. All right, brother.
That's right. So I of course stand up and bow. "Oh, thank you for assisting us and bringing him low. Sanam at your service, and my sister Mendi."
Where are you from?
We are from Safeton and have traveled all the way to the Ice Barbarians, are now headed to Greyhawk.
I've been there.
We took a wrong turn. We took the long route. We got bad.
As we're sitting there talking back and forth, a small dwarf, it looks like he can handle himself. He walks in and jumps on the belly of the barbarian, right? And then vaults himself up into the chair. Well, just after the compression of the barbarian's belly, he starts spewing, it looks like the Mount St. Helens, a beer out of his gut and stuff, and it splashes on his face and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And the dwarf sits down, he taps the elf and points down and says, "What happened?" And she says, "Oh, just a slight disagreement." She grabs the barbarian's tankard and starts pouring it from above right into his gullet. And she looks at the dwarf and says, "Yeah, just another day at the bar."
At the Black Stag.
These two, and then she says, "These two are from the Wild Coast." And Dan, as she's doing that, you notice on her arm a couple sigils that are tattooed in to her arm.
Do I recognize them?
Roll me a intelligence check.
Okay. Ooh, 17. I'm sure that's a fail. I mean, I'll double check it, but it'd probably fail. Yeah, I'm a 16. I failed.
All right, Dan,
James,
you roll it.
I rolled a 4. And my intelligence as a magic user is more than 4.
You recognize one of the sigils that's tattooed onto her bicep as coming from she's a Wild Coast wood elf.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Our people.
Yeah, excellent. So, I try to inject that into the conversation after she mentions, that we're from the Wild Coast. I see, correct me if I'm wrong, that you too may have, when's the last time you were in the Wild Coast? I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name.
So her name is Setiel.
Setiel, oh.
Can't anyone be named Mary? I'm never going to remember this. I better write it down. Setiel, okay.
She's about 5 foot tall.
She's got these gauntlets of whatever.
Yeah, she's got gauntlets on and bracers on.
Okay.
So, and obviously, by the look of the barbarian laying on the floor,
Right.
she seems to know what she's doing.
Yeah. So go ahead.
And as this conversation's going on, the guy in the half orc comes into the bar, picks up the feet of the thing. She tosses the barbarian a gold piece, and he starts dragging the barbarian out. And as it's happening, he grabs the leg of the chair you're sitting on, Dan, and dumps you onto the ground.
Oh,
That's
so that's not very nice.
how dare you?
So-
I don't say anything, but
I'll just take it.
Satiel also gives the added instruction to make sure he gets a bath. So when you're sitting there and you're talking, you hear a slow splashing sound from outside.
yeah, nice. Gets a little dunk. That's awesome.
So, all right. So what are you going to do now?
Well, we're going to talk to Setiel, and I don't know what the dwarf's name is, and see if they. We basically explain that we're looking to head back west, and that we have business to do in Greyhawk, and if they want to join us, we're either looking to take the river or the road next to the river. What's their thoughts?
Well, you're not going to go down the river, that's for sure.
Okay.
She said, as for the road, he says, it's fairly safe. You shouldn't have a problem getting to the capital. There's one large settlement between here and there, which is actually a fort for the kingdom. And she says, we're not really inclined to go back down to the Wild Coast at this time.
Oh.
We've got business here that we need to take care of before we go.
You have business here. Interesting. Is that what kind of business, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh, there's some hobgoblins that are making trouble up in the pass.
Oh, well, we are very familiar with the. We explain our encounter that we were hired to be guards of the. We were hired on as guards, and unfortunately,
Despite our best efforts
Right.
and valiant stand that we made, the hobgoblins.
She looks you two up and down, and she goes, "Yeah, valiant effort."
Well,
She pokes the dwarf. Valiant effort from these two.
Well, we could be of assistance. We certainly, if that's something you're interested in, we are prestidigitators of the mystical arts. Easy for me to say.
Yeah, I think this is more of a slaughter them and be done with it sort of thing. We're not needing to bring any magical users on this foray.
Oh, okay. Well, very, very well then. I obviously wish you the best, because they were horrible creatures.
So, do you think they have any prisoners up there?
I would say yes, based on what we saw. They were, while they killed many, they seemed to have. They took all the cargo from the caravan that they could, and I'm sure that some of the folks survived. We were very fortunate that we were part of the rear guard action to come back and tell the city what had occurred.
So she
We wanted
says,
to fight, of course, Mendy and I.
Oh, of course. And she goes, she tells the barkeep to bring a piece of paper up and a parchment and a pencil, and she walks over the table, lays it out for you, and says, "Draw." She says she wants you to draw the scene that you've seen, so that she's got a map of that area, so she can
Okay.
figure out what she needs to do for.
Well, I give my best version of it, based on what I recall.
Shouldn't we be compensated for this work?
Well, that's a good question. This seems to be very valuable to you. Is there some? My sister does bring up a good point. That's why she's the brains of the of our group here. So, be happy to help. Is there?
The dwarf looks over and says, "Draw."
Oh.
Hey.
He's sort of surly. He says, "You draw, we pay.
Oh, okay. Well,
The better your information is, we'll pay you."
well, that's seems very fair to me, dear sister. So I do my best to drawing of what I recall with my, I'm a fairly smart person, 15 intelligence, so.
Is his hand shaking?
I've been drinking, so.
So it's not. You're not
It may
scared.
take me a little while. We fought trolls, 12 trolls. I
That's
feel
true.
like we somehow survived that, so.
What do we have to be scared of?
Exactly. So however long that takes, I draw out, basically the road and the number of carts that were part of that, the hobgoblin train and the forest that they came from.
And she gives you pointed questions like, how many, which way did they take the wagons, blah, 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 blah. In the end, she takes out a stack of coins and drops it on the table and takes a sheet of paper and says, "Thank you very much."
Oh, excellent. Well, thank you. How much
She
coin?
rolls it up and she says, "We'll be back in about 5 days, and then we're gonna head down towards Greyhawk Way."
Oh, okay.
After we take care of this.
Well, then do you mind if we'd actually give you your coin back if we could travel with you when you head towards Greyhawk?
No need.
Oh, excellent. Okay. I'll say it's a few gold pieces. I pocket that for our stay. We will stay here. 5 gold pieces. Yep. Sounds good.
I get 3.
You get 2.5.
You have change? Ask him if they have change. You have
She
20
takes one
silver.
gold piece and puts it in her purse. Now you got 2.
Yeah, see? Good job.
Nice going.
Good job, Mindy. You just lost a gold piece. Okay, well, they're headed off. They sound very competent. We're going to wait for them to come back. But of course, it'll probably be a week and they're dead. But, whatever.
We should look for like menial work.
Yes, we should look for some kind of, what is my secondary skill?
Oh. We're like fishermen.
Yes, we are
can
fishermen. That's right.
But we're landlocked.
Well, there's a river. Isn't there a river?
We can go down to the river. Maybe we can get a job fishing.
Right.
Or oyster
Roll a
shopping.
percentage die, gentlemen.
Each one of us?
I rolled a 19.
I rolled a 1.
Wow. I don't.
I'm immediately attacked by the fishermen.
Yeah, the fishermen snort at you and say, "Go away."
We have our fishing rod. We're here to.
Yeah.
They point you down a ways where you can see the open sewage is flowing into the river from the town. You can go fish down there.
Oh, that sucks. All right. Well, then we'll wait for them to come back if they do.
All right. So let's see here. All right. About 6 days later, you're back in the Black Stag. The barbarian that was hitting on you is once again going around the bar, boasting of his abilities as a fighter and a man and stuff. And he sees you walk in again, and he doesn't remember his drunken episode last time, Dan. And
Let's hire this guy. I say we leave early with this dude.
That's right.
What do
he
you think?
comes up and he sits down again and says, "So you're still kissing your brother?"
We
I
come
say-
from a special land where that's okay.
Oh, God.
You have no idea the stuff we do, sir. You don't want to know. I say, but we're heading
Didn't you see
south to
Game of
Greyhawk.
Thrones? I mean, it's like the dragon, whatever the.
Anyways,
Take a look
we'll
under
go
the table.
forward a little bit. You guys have brushed him off. And as he's sitting there as he's sitting there, he's turned around. He's using part of your table as his so rudely interrupted you. He's talking to other people as they're going by and stuff like that. The elf and the dwarf come walking back in, and he stands up, looks at him, and he starts heading for the nearest exit.
Bye. Bye.
Are you sure we're hitching our wagon to the right horse here, brother?
I think so, because basically rock, paper, scissors, it looks like rock left after paper came. So I'm going with paper.
Okay.
So the elf comes, and she sees you guys sitting at the table and tips her head at you. And
we respond. I respond in kind.
And she jumps on one of the bar stools. The dwarf jumps next to her, and they order some food. And after the meal's done and everything else, she says, "Let's see here. What time in the morning they want to leave?" I say 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, 2 hours after sunrise. Meet them down at the stables, and you guys are going to be taking off.
Excellent. We will meet at the stables.
They've got some unfinished business in town here that they have to conclude in the morning. Then they'll be leaving.
Wonderful. We are looking forward to moving on and getting closer to our fame and fortune. So thank you. We're very excited.
All right. So next morning, you guys are waiting at the table, and you could see she's walking up with a gunny sack. She's still dressed in her leather and everything else. She doesn't look like she's changed much from the night before, except for now she's strapping a sword, a dagger, and some other stuff. The dwarf, of course, is outfitted. Looks like he's a pillbox,
Right.
Full headgear, everything else, and clanking dinner armor. He's a clanking dinner bell. So they come in, they get their rides and everything else, and they look over at you two and say, "Where's your supplies?"
Well, we were going to talk to Olga about getting supplies. We did not know of the provisioning place. So, yeah.
You've had 6 days to figure this out, and you guys haven't figured out supplies yet.
Well, we weren't sure you were coming back. I thought we were actually surprised.
She turns to you and says, "We're going to get something straight right now. You got 1 hour to get your stuff.
Oh, yeah.
We're gonna be at the front gate to the fort, and we're leaving in 1 hour.
Okay.
Get your stuff together, or you're gonna be left behind."
I just have one question. How long is it to our next stop?
About 5 days.
Okay, so actually, I stand corrected. I have a second question. Where is the outfitters? Where can we get supplies from?
She points down the street. Says General Mercantile Store.
Oh, wonderful! Yes, in common. We race down there and we get a week's worth of rations each. So I'll take 10 gold pieces off if that's their 12 gold pieces, whatever it costs. All right, we run back, panting in breath. Oh, we're ready. We're ready to go.
All right, you guys got horses, everything else.
If I remember correctly, she's an attractive elf. So I'm.
Yeah, she's very attractive.
And she's powerful.
She's
so
17 charisma.
Yeah, so I'm all about her. So what?
Yeah. Don't try anything.
But it doesn't matter whether I try something. I'm still all about her. So I was looking at
Dan. Your character would be best to tell your brother to put his stuff at words.
All right, I give him a little,
Yeah.
little elbow,
There you go.
ribs.
Ow.
All right, so we're heading south.
We are headed south.
All right. Or southwest, actually. All right.
Yeah, see if we can finally.
Greyhawk. Oh, look at that.
Fi-
Roll me a percentage die, gentlemen.
Both
I can't even believe I rolled it. First roll.
both of us or one of us?
Just one of you.
Go ahead, Dan. You can roll.
I rolled an 8.
An 8. Dan, you have why? You know what? I'm expecting you to roll this really high number. You're rolling something that's,
Is this divine? Wait, this is divine
That's right.
intervention,
Just,
wasn't it?
exactly.
Yeah, right.
What's
What's
coming?
the small animal that's coming towards us?
Right.
No, it's not an animal. God, you guys are always thinking the worst of me.
It's an elephant.
It's hurt. It's hurt.
It's a mastodon.
Herd animals. Oh no.
It's a mastodon, James.
Right. Yeah, that's right. 'Cause we're up north.
That's right.
Yeah.
Kind of cold still. Probably,
Arctic
right?
shadow
Right.
mastiffs.
Yep. An 8. Oh, wonderful. Roll me another percentage die.
Wanna do that one,
Sure.
James?
85.
85. Okay, Dan, roll me a percentage die. Or actually, roll me a 12-sided die.
Okay. 9.
A 9. Okay.
9.
What did you roll, James?
85.
Oh. I haven't used one of these monsters in a long time.
I heard monster. That's usually not good, but okay.
Okay. I got to find it first here.
Is it a pilgrim?
Is it a caterpillar?
What was the number you rolled, James?
85.
It's the special attack, say poison.
That's right.
All right. As you're going down the track, roll a 6-sided die, James.
She's a ranger, right? Elven. She's 90 feet ahead of us, so she gets better surprise.
Right.
I rolled a 5, so.
Okay. As you're going down the road, you see 5 figures standing in the middle of the road ahead of you. They're about 8 feet tall. And they're standing there with their swords in their hand.
Well, we allow the dwarf and the elf to ride ahead of us, and I'm going to watch, see what she does. But I'm preparing my. If they're 8 feet tall, they probably are not going to be affected by the fun thing known as sleep. But I'm going to have my sand and rose petals ready just in case.
What do you think, brother?
8 foot tall things with swords? I have no idea. And
as you're getting closer, you notice that they have war paint painted on their bodies. They've got a top knot. Their hair is pulled into a top knot, and they're wearing skins.
They're like coral. It's the beginning with a Q, something like that. Does it begin with a Q?
I'm not saying anything.
Okay.
You got to use your knowledge now, Dan. This is where you got to use that.
They're like Quiggles or Quargles or that's what I think. You know what I'm talking about, James? I'm metagaming now.
Well, better than what I thought it was going to be. Based on what they're large 8 foot tall creatures.
Mm-hmm.
Do they
and there's 5 of them?
It's better than Ogre Magi's. That's what I thought they were based on what he said. So, which would be, I would just sit here and go, okay, just kill me.
As you're riding closer, you're 850 feet away. Now you're getting closer and closer.
Well, if we see them, I kind of go, why are we moving forward, Satil, when there's 5 large creatures? Shouldn't we?
Well, she turns to you and says, she says, you think we're afraid? She points at her and the dwarf and says, you think we're afraid of them?
I don't know. I've never seen a creature like that. And there's.
Do you know what they are?
Well, yes, I've encountered them before.
Oh, okay.
And she says, but lessons are lessons. Why don't you ride up and greet them yourselves?
What lesson would we learn besides being attacked by creatures that are large and could kill us?
She says, some things are what they appear to be, and some things are not. It's part of the lesson.
Oh, I don't like this lesson, but okay.
Yeah, I trust her.
Yeah,
what could go wrong?
Yeah, what could possibly go wrong? Exactly.
I mean, how long have we known her?
Right, 6.
And she's riding about 20 feet behind you.
Yeah, okay.
You know, just enough, space. And as you look back, James, you notice that the dwarf pulls out his battle axe, and she pulls out her sword, and she's getting. They look like they're preparing for something.
Well, I'm sure if this goes sideways, just as we ride up, I say if it goes sideways, just we're not going to get too close to them. We'll get 100 feet away, and if they start moving towards us, we'll ride like the wind the other way. All right, so we get closer to them.
And these 5 figures just stand there in the middle of the road.
Okay, and we want to go that way. That's the way we're trying to go, correct?
Right. Right.
All right, so we approach about 100, within loud talking distance. Hail!
Well, and how far is that?
About 100 feet.
It's just stand there.
All right, well, we move a little bit closer, and I say, Hail, I am Sanam. Here's my sister, Mendi, and our companions. We're here to pass.
They do nothing. They do nothing. They just stand there and look at you.
Is there a way?
Do they see?
Go ahead.
Are they moving at all? Like at all? Like
you can see they're breathing.
Okay.
Okay.
And
Okay.
shifting their weight, but they're waiting for you to come closer.
Okay.
And there's no way. I mean, we have to go past them. There's not like a way to. A what?
Sure, you could go off the road and go around them if you wanted to.
All right. Well, we'll continue to move forward. So, in fact, what we do is I just start talking to Mendi about, it'll be so great when we go to Greyhawk, and we just continue to ride forward and look at them and act as if we're going to pass right by them.
All right. So how close are you now?
Oh, we're 40 feet, 35 feet.
Roll a saving throw versus confusion.
Is that a spell versus spell?
Yep.
I got it. 19.
I rolled a 15.
And?
A 19.
Dan, you're fine. James, did you see?
I believe so, but I'll look it up. I mean, if it's spells, I definitely did. If it's something else, I have to look at it.
Okay.
Against, yes, I made everything. If it's unless there's a minus.
All right. Right. You feel a wave, sort of uneasiness come over you as you're approaching these guys. The closer you get.
Oh, okay. Well, we stop and go. Are they? We're about 25 feet away from them. Are they getting closer to us now?
All right. And all of a sudden, you hear a grunt out of the lead one, and they start charging you.
Oh wait, we're on horses, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And they're not.
They're not.
Oh, why don't we just run? Why are we even near these? All right. Well, I'm gonna start riding off.
Yeah, I'm gonna ride the.
As fast as I can.
I'm gonna ride the
All right,
opposite.
roll for
I'm gonna
initiative.
ride the opposite way. So we're gonna.
Give me a 10-sided die, Dan.
All right, I got a 6 actually.
On a 10-sided.
Yeah.
You guys win.
I'm never gonna live that.
Your nervousness has succeeded.
We're like bunnies.
But you two split off and run for the hills, and the elf and the dwarf are just sitting there on their horses. And you just as you turn around and you look, Dan and James, you see them slide off their horses and just wade into combat.
Oh, cool.
And about 4 minutes later, 5 minutes later, all these humanoids are dead.
Ah.
Well,
as soon as it looks like the battle's turning, of course I pull my staff out and start riding towards it. I have no intention of getting to combat, but as they finish them off, I go, "Oh,
we're here."
Good job.
And we start killing, stabbing or whatever.
Jump off.
Take that. I think this one's still alive. Got it. Good work, brother.
That's right.
Hold him, brother.
anyways, you do this and you guys ride back, and you see the dwarf at the moment. He's just summarily going around and chopping the heads off of these things and kicking their heads into the ditch.
So I'm sorry there, Satil. I'm not sure what lesson we were supposed to learn there, except run for our lives, which we've gotten very good at.
She snorts. It says typical magic users.
Yeah. That's us.
It says, did you not memorize your spells for the day?
I did.
And what was
Sleep.
it? Why didn't you use it?
Well, because they seem big and scary. And we didn't want to waste our spell when you said you could handle it.
Yeah.
So
A sleep
Well,
spell.
we never
in
said we
the
could
hand
handle it.
is
We
worth
never
more.
said we can handle it. All you saw us pull out our weapons.
well, you said go ahead, it would be fine. So we had a lesson to learn. So I took that as you had great confidence in defeating it, and you took care of hobgoblins as well. So why should I? Next time, the lesson I learned is if you want me to cast sleep, you just let me know. We're here. We're following your orders. We appreciate your leadership.
Dan's having an automatic conversation over on the left over here with somebody off to the side.
I have a very busy stuff happening.
All right.
My house is filled like 18 cats running around.
Oh yeah, you got 18 cats now.
No, I have 6. I have 4 regular, and I have. Yeah, sorry.
Oh, you got some babies.
I'm sure
crawling
by
around
now
on
you don't know how many cats you have.
Yeah,
I'm sure you really don't know how many cats you have. That's what they tell you.
you probably don't. Probably several missing.
Right.
Anyways, she expected you to. She said, "I expected you to use your spells, there, wizard."
Well, a part of it is to save it in case we need it. We didn't need it, so congratulations. I'm very happy.
We still have the
Right.
spell. Seems
Yeah.
like the right move.
And the dwarf snorts as he's picking the pockets of the dead bodies and putting them in his bag, and he drags it. They start dragging the bodies off the road, puts them on the side of the road, and he gets back up on his pony and starts ambling along like nothing
Excellent.
ever happened.
That was a good lesson. The lesson I learned is these are pretty competent fighters, and we shouldn't be casting spells unless we have to.
Or if she says go take care of it, to go do it.
Well, I didn't get that from her, so it's the her comment is not as good as I thought.
Do we work for
Exact-
them? I'm
Everyone,
confused, man.
we work for everyone.
Yeah, they just order us around. We should just start ordering other people
Right.
around. Maybe it works. You just do it.
Roll percentage, Dan.
Okay.
Oh, Dan, go ahead.
74.
74. Next day, as you're riding down the road, roll it one more time, Dan.
4.
Well, that's let's see here. Oh, that's a non-encounter. You see a bear in the distance.
Yeah.
It's not going to. There's no encounter really.
Good.
You just see it down by the river fishing for
Yeah.
food out of the river.
What does a bear do in the woods?
Yeah.
What's he doing?
Like I said, it's a non-encounter.
You get your spell
Victory.
out,
That's
Jay.
right.
Whatever
That's
that
right,
was.
exactly.
Protection from
Bye. You're in the
good.
city.
Sell it.
You're in the capital.
Oh, we made it.
Oh, hey, oh. Advancing.
We went to the.
Okay.
Hold on. Let's see. What is it? What's the name of this capital?
It's yes, it is Nevand. Nevand. Nevnend. Nevand. Nevnend.
All right. The elf and the dwarf don't use the main entrance, the gate to the city. And they just, when they're getting close, they sort of veer off and go around the town. And use a small side entrance. And they flip a couple of coins to the gate guard standing there who pocket it and turn their heads away from you guys as you enter the city.
Well, we like that. Well, we need to find a boat so we can take a ship down to Greyhawk. Because we're now finally at the place where we could take a river boat to the near dive, and then take a river back to where we were. We could be home. So that's what we need to do next time, is see if we can secure a river passage. But we'll talk to Satili and see what is her plans in the capital.
She looks at you and says, "Find us rooms," and she breaks off from you guys.
All right. Well,
the dwarf, of course, looks around, sees the nearest tavern, and decides that that's where he's going. He parks his horse in front of it and gets off his horse and walks inside.
Well, we'll definitely go into the tavern as well for now. I think, Mendy, we need to see what the next step is. But I think if we could get some river passage, we could get there quicker.
Maybe I got an idea.
Oh, okay.
Brother. We should check out the troll fens. It sounds cool. I think.
You want to go to the troll fens? Well, didn't we fight trolls? Why would we want to go see more of them?
I will think about it. I'll talk about
The
it.
dwarf looks at you and says, "So you want to go down and play with the priest down there in the theocracy of Pale, huh?"
Not particularly, but you think we should go to the troll fens? Okay.
The dwarf snorts. He says, "You two wouldn't make it a day in the fens."
Well,
All right. Well, that's probably a bad idea then. Yeah, we'll book passage down the Zumker River,
yes.
heading south toward Greyhawk.
And he says, "Well, we're in the wrong bar for that." He says, "You guys need to head down to the wharf and start inquiring if you want that." Well, he gets himself a nice big large thing of ale and he orders some food.
Well, we're going to talk to Satil, see what her plans are, because
Satil's not at the bar.
No, I understand. She's getting rooms, right? She's going to get room.
No, she says you guys get the rooms.
Oh, okay.
I
thought
we're being ordered again.
Oh, well.
Of course.
Well, we could go to the. You know what? I think you're right. I think we need to go find passage to the wharf. We tell the dwarf. Yeah, we're going to take our chances over at the. We appreciate your advice on the not going to the troll fens. It's probably not a good idea, but we'll look for some river passage, and then if you're here still, we'll see what that is. We'll see you in a bit. We just want to see what's likely. So.
We'll be back.
We'll be back.
All right.
So that's a good stopping point, because we got to figure out if we're going to take the river down the Zankor River to see Zunker. Excuse me. My scanned image. I mean, I have the maps over there, but I can't.
Yeah.
I can't.
No worries. Yeah. All right. Yeah, that's right.
I can't see that. So.
It looks like Bucky wants me to have you guys get in a brawl here.
Well, that was when we were with the barbarians. He thought we were going to get into a brawl, which I thought we were too. So thank you for not having it, because we literally would have been punched out. So with our 3 massive hit points, I think we survived like 1 round, and then we got decked the last time we got into a fight at the bar. So, but so you're still working on not still working. You're waiting on Dan to finish the book that you're working on.
Right. This is coming up. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, okay. So here's so far this project, if anybody wants to know. I got James Ward's submission, which is set in the desert. I've got my submission, which is set in the islands, like off the ice by barbarians or something like that. It's sort of a cold weather place. I just got Forrest Killian Smith's. His is to deal with a keep. You're clearing out a keep somewhere. It's site neutral. I've got Robert Ritchie's is set in a city, and Dan's, of course, is, well, you're going to hell.
And
That's why it takes longer. That's more serious business. One does not just simply write an adventure in hell.
Well, of course, but then I'm working on trying to get some artwork from a major artist that we all know and love from back in the day, who's no longer with us. I'm trying to negotiate with his estate to use some artwork, and that's where we're standing at this time. Of course, I've got to sit here and do some editing today. Of course, I'm missing Dan's work.
Well, the sooner we wrap this up.
Yeah. As soon as we wrap this up, you'll be watching a Michigan State or Michigan
No, I'm
football
not.
game.
Michigan football, no. Big Ten doesn't start until late October, I think.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
Well,
no, my wife.
And Carlos, our dear friend from he's from Mexico, but he's claimed the land in Spain, which I do know I need to update the map. I got to get doing that. He didn't mention it again.
Oh, speaking of Carlos, me and him have sort of come to an agreement. We're going to make a demand for our appearance at the next GrogCon. We want GrogCon T-shirts with our titles on the back, like Scourge of the Norse, Emperor Straggler.
Oh, I think that's a great idea. Absolutely.
and then we gotta roll up Amanda Rue's a title. She's gotta have a title, if she's gonna be a participant.
Oh, sure, absolutely.
In this,
Amanda is definitely worthy of a title.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
I mean, if once we know, and hopefully in the beginning of the year, that GrogCon, the physical one, is good for the quote unquote April timeframe, then we definitely need to get shirts with and basically I don't know if we'll make red shirts or green shirts or whatever, but the shirts for people of the Grog Empire, they have to be different, absolutely, with the title on it. So it goes with.
Well, you got to have some artwork for the front.
Yeah, well,
the GrogCon.
Yeah, so for our artists out there, if you want to design the GrogCon 2021 art, that would be great. Give us some submissions, and you can send it to either editor at GrogCon, or you can send it to us at info@GrogCon. And if you do that and you win, you get a shirt, absolutely. And that's a great idea. I love that idea. I'm writing it down. Because
how much fun would it be to have everybody walk around like Scourge of the North and stuff like that?
Well, I think for you all,
let's see here. What are you?
I'm the terrible sword. Oh, he's the slaughterer and slaver of something, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, something of down there. What are you again?
I'm the terrible sword of Longwood.
Yeah, the terrible sword of Longwood.
Let's see, Harold.
Dan was something else. He had some long romantic title or something.
I think Brilliant was in there. I remember that part.
Brilliant, sure. Really? I'm having problems with things. Okay, awesome. Yeah, I can't get to it now. Super cool.
Well, it's just an idea that me and Carlos.
I love that idea. I'm double. In fact, I'm going to put that on the. Hold on, I'm going to write here in the introduction. So I got it. Shirts with titles for Grog Empire. So we'll have basically two shirts. We'll have shirts for people who attend GrogCon, and then shirts for people who are patrons and are part of the Grog Empire. I love it.
Yep. Well, the Grog Empire. Here, I got the titles at Heredity right here. I got it. Dan is the. Let's see here. James, the general, his honor, his terrible sword of Longwood. And then Dan is the governor, his brilliance, omnipotence, king, stupendous slaughter of Winter Park.
Ah, the stupendous slaughterer.
Yes, the stupendous slaughterer. Yeah, well, everybody's got their, we just call you the slaughterer of whatever.
Sure.
James is the sword of
Longwood. Terrible sword of Longwood. Yeah, well, I love it. But so our suggestion is, obviously, I know you're not able to make it, but the Tabletop Events Virtual GrogHawk Con is next week, starting on the 2nd. So we will be hosting a patron-only game on Saturday. So we will have Grog Talk, but it'll start at 9. I think we're going to start at 9 with the event for 4 hours. Isn't that the plan, Dan?
Yeah, that's the plan. I mean, we'll talk about it. I mean, if we can do an 8 to 9 and just do some quick random encounter and spell selection, if that's too difficult.
Well, based on our last 2 sessions, that would be 3 hours. So we'd have to be quick with that.
We'd have to be quick. And I don't know, and we can talk about it, whether technologically that's difficult to do, because I know then you got to get the game ready. So that may not be feasible. Yeah. So it may just be game
we'll see that. So, but and then following that, on the 17th, then hopefully Vic will be able to, because we're getting close. Well, I feel like we're getting closer. Of course, we may not get close. We may be like the characters from the cartoon, D&D cartoon. We'll never get back to Greyhawk. It's just... And by the way...
Oh, maybe I'll let Carlos take over next time. Maybe I'll have Carlos.
Okay, yeah, we should probably let, if Carlos is willing to do it, he can jump in. And because look, it's got to be planned. We're like the very last one of 1980. It's like the Wizard of Oz, right? We got to arrive in. That's got to be like the Greyhawk episode, right? That we arrive in Greyhawk, no matter what happens.
Probably be the holiday special. That should be the last one.
Yeah,
where
very.
And maybe we'll get experience points at that point. People are commenting, you guys have been adventuring for a while. We haven't got any.
Yes, but you haven't killed anything. You guys have ran more than
that's got to be worth something. There's experience in there.
We've earned 4 gold pieces for drawing a map.
Yeah.
Split 2 ways.
4 experience points.
Split 2 ways.
Vic didn't know what he was getting. He's like, why didn't you guys use the sleep? Why didn't you Agent Combat? The poor guy keeps doing random encounters and we just keep riding off.
Hey, we killed the penguin one time, if I remember correctly.
We killed the penguin, didn't we? Killed the penguin.
Oh yeah, the penguins. Let's see, experience point each, and you also puked your guts out from eating them.
We're negative experience points.
We're actually got to go back to school, which I can't go back to because we've been kicked out. So.
And you're also 4 years or 5 years behind, so your selves are, you've got. You guys went back in time.
Yeah, it's all jacked up. But like I said, Vic, always a pleasure and good to talk to you as well. We'll talk to you in 2 or 3 weeks when we go back. So for Grog Talk, I'm James,
and I'm Dan.
We will see you next time on Grog Talk. Take care.